In 5D Preps Game of the Week, Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you in the booth. Jake Laban is our sideline reporter tonight. Marco Marquez, our producer-engineer, back at the 580 Studios on Huntoon Hill. The Manhattan Indians taking the field, led by Coach Joe Schartz in his 12th season as the head of the Manhattan football program, a 93-24 overall record. The Hayden Wildcats getting ready to run out on the field in just a moment here, led by head coach Bill Arnold in his 14th season, 175-60 on his career for the Hayden Wildcats at the helm. And Greg, as we wait for the Wildcats to take the field tonight, let's get to some keys to the game. Let's start with the visitors tonight from Manhattan.
I think getting off to a good start. I think defensively, how do you handle the outside game of Desmond Purnell and the wild card, Giovanni Williams, not knowing, of course, we don't know how much he's going to actually touch the football tonight because of the fact just basically having about a week into the game plan as far as practice is concerned. How is he handling them there? Defensively, I think just, it's one of those, you can punch them in the face right off the bat, get an early 3 and out, and get your offense back on the field too.
This is going to be a huge matchup for both of these teams. You mentioned it a little bit ago before our coach interviews. These are two teams coming off of losses, and they're two teams that have expectations to at least contend for state championships in 6A and 3A respectively this year. What kind of mindset do you have to have going into this game? I would assume not desperation necessarily this early in the year, but you don't want to fall too far behind record-wise as we head into district play coming up.
No, you don't, and the X factor and all that was 2 weeks ago. This game wasn't even in existence, but this is the year of 2020. This is the year of COVID, and that plays a whole other factor into that as well. Now, having said that, to your original question, I don't think you're quite to the desperate stage, but whoever comes out with a loss has got to look at it maybe the next week and the next several weeks to go that way as well. But if you come out the winner in this game, what momentum you lost last week, you get all that right back going into the next game.
We've got teams both on the field now as we just await our coin toss. Let's throw it to our field reporter for tonight, Jake Laban. Jake, the sun is setting to the west, and it is an absolutely gorgeous night for football here in the capital city.
You couldn't ask for a better day when it comes to the high school football scene. Right now, it is 70 degrees here at kickoff. The wind, again, for the second week in a row, pretty much non-existent. East-northeast at 4 miles per hour. The sunset will finally, I guess you could say, go below the tree line at about 7:30. Again, you can't ask for better weather in this fantastic game. And the key to me in this one, Brent, is simply how is Hayden going to get off to a better start? They have to get off to a better start because this is a team that doesn't thrive on throwing the football. They need to keep this game in the low numbers, or if they can get out quick, that would benefit the Hayden Wildcats.
Desmond Purnell, Brendan, last week, I think he had 7 rushes. That's not the formula for Hayden to win the football game. Now, he had plenty of receptions, so he ended up touching the ball probably about 15 to 16 times. But he's got to get more than 15 rushes a game. I don't think there's anything about it. DeVader had plenty of rushes, but you've got to get Desmond Purnell more involved in this game.
We have the coin toss completed. Now Hayden won the toss, decided to defer to the second half, so Manhattan will start the game with the ball, receiving in the south end zone. So kicking away will be Skylar Specht for Hayden to start things off. This is a huge game we've had so far in our 2 games of the week, brought to you by Invista Credit Union. A blowout in week 1, a win for the Seaman Vikings, and a close win for Seaman over these here Hayden Wildcats just last week. And now both these teams, Hayden trying to contend for a state championship in Class 3A, Manhattan in Class 6A, looking to come away with a big win here tonight.
One question we got answered already. I do see Giovanni Williams looks like he's going to be on the kickoff team.
And one of the better athletes immediately moving from Topeka High to Hayden, going from Class 6A to Class 3A. Of course, until last night, there was a whole lot of confusion about what the year would look like for Topeka High and the rest of TPS 501. Giovanni Williams now, formerly of the Trojans, here with the Wildcats. And that adds just such an extra level of athleticism to Coach Bill Arnold's group. And he is on the kickoff team. The place kicker for the Wildcats, as I just mentioned, senior Skylar Specht. A duo of players back to receive for Manhattan. Now they'll make a shift, and it will just be one deep man. Tyjon Jackson goes off in just by Ty for short. He is currently standing back at his own 10-yard line. The ball lined up at the 40 for the Wildcats, wearing their home dark blue uniforms, gold helmets, gold numbers with a serif font, white road uniforms, blue helmets for the Manhattan Indians. Speck puts his right hand up in the air, stares down the ball, waits for the whistle, takes a couple steps to approach, and we are underway in week 3 here in the capital city. It is a short kickoff fielded by one of the up men at the 20-yard line on the far left sideline, and great kick coverage by the Hayden Wildcats. It's Joe Hall, junior wide receiver for Manhattan, who makes the catch at the 20, and he is dragged down just a couple yards ahead of that. Officially called the 24-yard line, and that is where the Manhattan offense, led by senior quarterback, All-State honorable mention Dane Aschenbrenner, will take over. Get you the starting lineups first for the Manhattan offense. Up front, led by Cade Wilson and Cade McElvain. The tackles, Dawson Alesna, Hunter Boyer, and Jaden Magana, your interior offensive lineman.
Williams is starting at defensive back, too.
He will be matched up with wide receiver Joe Hall, who just returned that kick for 4 yards. Shotgun set to start things off here for Manhattan, moving from left to right as you listen. Aschenbrenner takes the snap. It's a read handoff, gives it to his running back, Vinny Smith, and Smith is dragged down after a decent gain on first down, sweeping off the right tackle. That's McElvain, and he's brought down at the 29-yard line. So call it a gain of 5 on first down for the Indians. The other starters for Manhattan in this game already got you. The offensive line and the quarterback. Trey Holloway starting tight end for the Indians. In the backfield, Vinny Smith, who just had that 5-yard carry, along with tailback Lorenzo Wilhoit and halfback Mason Reed, who's also the leading receiver this year for Manhattan. We'll get you the Hayden starters in just a moment after the 2nd and 5 play for the Indians. Snap to Aschenbrenner. It's a keeper. He fakes going to the left, comes back to the right, and he's brought down after a gain of about 3 yards to the 32. They might give him credit to the 33-yard line. In fact, they're going to bump him up almost, Greg, to the 34. So a second lunge gave him a little extra credit there, and Manhattan is about a long yard shy of the first down.
Yeah, he went right over that A-gap center guard, and they had a real wide gap, too, on the offensive line, almost a yard and a half gap.
Ball at the 33.5-yard line, third down and short.
Heavy on the left side of the line, too.
Aschenbrenner in the gun, calls up the snap, and he is going to keep it up the middle again. He's met immediately at the line of scrimmage by defensive end Trey Pivarnik. Right there in the backfield on the snap, and Hayden forces a 4th down and short for Manhattan. What a play by Trey Pivarnik.
Yeah, they overloaded Manhattan, the left side of the line, but that freed up Pivarnik on that right side, and he blew up that play. No gain for Manhattan. That's an early 3-and-out for this Hayden defense.
And what a stop for Bill Arnold's Wildcats, and they will get off the field in 3 plays. Grant Snowden out to punt this one away for the Indians. Splits punting duties with Dane Aschenbrenner. Snowden, a first-team All-Centennial League kicker a year ago, will be punting. We're at 9:50 to go here in the first. Manhattan has to run a man on late here. They're able to get him on, and Snowden waits for the long snap. It's a slow snap. He takes it high, puts a boot into it, end over end, wobbling kick, little backspin on it. It bounces at the Hayden 42 and takes a Manhattan bounce all the way back to the 30, and that is where it dies and is tagged down by Manhattan's Kyler Hahn. So at the 30-yard line, it will be Johnny Holloway and the starting offense for the Hayden Wildcats. Holloway coming into this game on the season, 62.5% completion percentage, 4 touchdown passes to 3 interceptions, all for a total of 336 yards. Wildcats in the huddle, 9.5 minutes to go in the first. No score here on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps game of the week. Wildcats and the wing tee offense get up to the line at the 30. Holloway takes a snap, and on first down, it's a sweep handoff to Desmond Purnell. And immediately, Greg, the best athlete returning this week for the Wildcats, gets the carry, sweeps from right to left, and gets good yardage on first down.
Yeah, and that's the way you want to start out. Looks like 8 yards, 7.5.
So a good gain there to set up a second down and a short. Skylar Specht, as well as Jaden Rayner out wide to the left. Rayner in the slot. Now he comes in motion as Holloway barks out the signals from the middle of the field. He drops back, spins from right to left. Now he's rolling to his right, throws low, and the pass is incomplete. He was looking to the outside and was not able to complete the pass out there. Looks like he was throwing outside to Trey Pivarnik, who has not played on the offensive end yet this season. And he's not able to haul in that ball right in the dirt. So now from second and short to third and short for Hayden. 8:55 to go in the opening period.
Yeah, it was a long developing play. Not a great throw by Holloway. Kept it low. Good place to put it, but just a little too low trying to get Varnick.
Third down and 2. Holloway takes the snap, gives to the deep back. It's Will DeVader, and the fullback plows his way ahead, gets past the 40, past the 45, and all the way up to the 48-yard line. Will DeVader, first carry of the game. He gets 10 yards and a Hayden first down right between the hashes.
You know, I've watched Hayden football for a long time, and that fullback dive has been a bread and butter play. Before Bill Arnold, you go back to Tom Stringer days, man, you get a player like DeVader who can do that. It's such a big weapon.
DeVader, Purnell, and Jaden Rayner, the running backs in the starting lineup for the Wildcats. Snap to Holloway in the gun, empty set. He throws it to the near sideline, and right away, Greg, there is Giovanni Williams, his first touch with the Hayden Wildcats, and he gets across midfield all the way up to the 47-yard line of the Manhattan Indians. So call that a gain of 5 yards on first down and 10.
Yeah, simple out route, simple. Probably some base plays that Bill Arnold has on the offensive side for Giovanni Williams. But you know the talent you have, you know the hands he has. You got to get into those hands, and that's what they did there.
Ball on the near left hash as the Wildcats move from right to left as you listen. 8:20 to go in the first. Pistol set now for Holloway. Calls for motion, and DeVader out of the backfield to the right wing. Now Holloway, designed boot to the right, throws back to the left. It's completed to Trey Pivarnik. Pivarnik catches it at 35, gets up to the 32-yard line. Another first down for the Wildcats. Call that 15 yards. And back-to-back completions for Johnny Holloway and the Hayden offense for 20 yards between the two plays. First down and 10, Hayden still on the near hash.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. Williams took 2 defenders out when he went up on a corner route, but that freed that open to get that easy gain on that first down.
And that's exactly what a player like Williams can do. Now on first and 10, it's Jaden Rayner taking a sweep hand up to the right. He goes down, loses the ball at the end of the play, but his knee touched down first. The referees were on that right away, and the ball is being marked at the 28-yard line. So a gain of about 4 yards on first and 10. So call it second down and 6 now for the Wildcats. Get you their starting offensive line. We've gotten you some of the skill position players. They're running behind Aiden Coulter and Joe Otting, the tackles. Justin Wheel and Tim Wells, your guards for Hayden. Behind center, Clayton Stevenson, the junior. It is second down and 6. It's a toss play to Purnell going to the left, and Manhattan smothers this one on the near sideline, Greg. Purnell gets to about the 26-yard line, so 2 yards on the carry, and that will set up a third down and manageable. Call it 4 yards.
Yeah, that play made by Hershey, the linebacker, got there, and he got busted up by a couple of other players as well. Now, big play here defensively for Manhattan. Can they stop him here on a third and short?
7:10 to go in the first. No score. Third down and 4 for the Wildcats. DeVader's the deep man. Holloway under center. Holloway takes it. Fakes the hand up to DeVader. Boots to the right. Looking for Pivarnik in the far flat. He's got him. And Pivarnik is taken down right away at the 25-yard line. So a gain of just 1 yard. And a great tackle outside by the Manhattan defense. And that will set up a fourth down decision now from the 25. Sequoia Robinson, the junior corner, on the tackle. Was the 8th play of the drive. 9th play coming up as Johnny Holloway waits for the signal from Coach Bill Arnold on the Hayden sideline.
Yeah, I think this 4-down territory. I'm wondering if Bill Arnold wants to talk about it. He may call a timeout. He's taken a long time. Yep, I think he's going to talk. He wants to talk about it. I think he's going to get a timeout.
Walking over to the linesman just to his left on the near sideline here at Hayden High School. His clock ticks down to 6:13 to go in the first quarter. And the Hayden Wildcats will call their first timeout right before a fourth down and 3 from the Manhattan 25-yard line. With that, we'll take a timeout. We'll be right back after this for fourth down. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
I have a grandson in 8th grade, and we have already been discussing the possibilities of colleges. How much will it cost, and how do we save? We look at Invista College Roadmap to go over the details and start the conversation about college. It's easy to find all we need. The Scholarship
awesome.
Finder and checklists are great resources.
paired with Invista College Roadmap. Visit InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com to find out more.
Insured by NCUA.
My name is Ruth Rusi, and this is how I live United. I read to children as part of United Way's education program. It helps them create links between language and literacy and prepares them for a better academic future. I figure I have the time and they have the need. My name is Ruth Rusi. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
6:10 to go in the first quarter. The Hayden Wildcats with the ball. No score between the Wildcats and the Manhattan Indians. And with a 4th and 3 at the 25-yard line, the Hayden Wildcats are going to go for it. Quarterback Johnny Holloway in the gun moves his brand new wide receiver Javani Williams all the way out to the far side, left side of the field. Holloway in the gun, DeVader, his wing to the left. Now motion comes from Desmond Purnell. Holloway takes the snap, designed boot to the left. Thinks about a run, has to dump backwards. Now he throws it ahead to Purnell, and Purnell makes the grab right up at the 20-yard line. A gain of 5 along the near sideline. Holloway waits as long as possible before finding his target, Purnell, and he gets the Wildcats a 4th down conversion.
Yeah, he kept the play alive, got by a defender, did a smart job. Purnell did the smart thing, followed him sideline to sideline. You always find the open spot if you're out there trying to find that. If your quarterback's scrambling, he did, and they got the first down.
Holloway, 4 of 5 to start the game. Now 1st and 10 from the 20. It's a sweep handoff to Jaden Rayner, and Rayner's going nowhere. He runs right into the defensive line, led by senior defensive tackle Damian Elalio, the future Kansas State Wildcat, right there to blow up the run by Rayner for no gain on 1st down.
Yeah, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the state. And boy, Rayner had no chance there once Elalio got his mitts on him. Great tackle there.
2nd down and 10 as we tick under 5:40 to go in the first. Still no score. Wildcats moving the ball well. Ball at the Manhattan 20-yard line, right between the two hashes. Holloway now in the pistol. DeVader's the deep man. 2 wide receivers on either side of the formation. Now Purnell comes in motion left to right. Holloway runs right. Now he gets knocked down in the backfield, dragged down right away. E.J. Whitfield, the junior outside linebacker, with his 2nd tackle for a loss on the season, brings down Holloway for a loss of 2. And now 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Wildcats.
Yeah, I call that even though it was a short developed play, once he stepped up, and boy, they just popped him. E.J. Whitfield was right there to get him down.
This is an excellent defensive front for the Indians, including 3 returning starting defensive linemen in Elalio, Darius O'Connell, and Deshaun Edwards. 3rd down and 12. The Wildcats go empty. Holloway takes the shotgun snap, rolls right, throws it, and has the ball tipped. What a play by Deshaun Edwards, one of those returning linemen we just mentioned. And Greg, the quarterback, Holloway, comes up a little bit gimpy after the incomplete pass.
I wonder if it's his back.
And he is holding on to his side, now hands on knees. The Wildcats are keeping the offense out there on the field. Ball at the Manhattan 22-yard line, 4th down and 12 for Hayden with 4:38 to go on the clock.
Yeah, you're gonna have to watch him closely. Yeah, looks like he's holding lower back area.
Manhattan has a chance to pin their ears back and rush the quarterback here with a 4th and long. Purnell comes in motion right to left. It's a fake toss to him. Pressure comes from the side in Whitfield. Holloway throws back across his body, and it's intercepted by the Indians inside the 10-yard line. Holloway designs his roll right, throws all the way back across his body to the left, and has it picked off to end the drive. A 12-play drive results in no points for the Wildcats, and the Manhattan Indians will take over with no score, 4:32 to go here in the first quarter.
Boy, Jake, doing that always a dangerous play if you go across the field like that.
He just got to throw it a little bit farther, which makes you wonder if Holloway, a little bit dinged up, had enough mustard on it, because if he throws it into the end zone, I think Purnell ends up catching it because he had everybody beat deep, but just not enough mustard on the pass.
That drive took 4 minutes and 58 seconds and resulted in no points for Hayden. Now the Manhattan Indians will take over. Aschenbrenner, the quarterback, in the gun, takes a snap. It's a sweep handoff to Vinny Smith. He runs to his left, and he gets dropped in the backfield. An excellent play by the front 4 for the Wildcats. And Vinny Smith is going backwards on 1st down. 2nd and long coming up between the hashes for the Indians.
Well, they did a great job of stretching that out defensively. Vinny Smith nowhere to go. Big loss, too. Looks like a 3.5 yards on that loss.
Will DeVader leading the charge for the Wildcats, the 2019 City Defensive Player of the Year against last year's All-League Defensive Player of the Year in Damian Elalio. 2nd down and 13 for Manhattan. Design roll to the left for Aschenbrenner and the Indians. He completes it into the left flat, but the Hayden defense right there to make the tackle up at the 11-yard line. So a gain of about 7 yards on a completion to Joe Hall. That will set up a 3rd down for Manhattan. And now an interesting situation, Greg, for Manhattan, deep in its own territory. Not a team that likes to throw the ball very much, and has had some problems turning the ball over. 6 interceptions thrown by Aschenbrenner this year heading into 3rd down.
Yeah, and this is definitely where you don't want to throw an interception. You're just inviting a pick 6, but a 3rd and a longer distance. I wonder if they're just going to keep it in Aschenbrenner's hands, too.
Ball at the 11. They need to get to about the 17.5-yard line for a 1st down. Aschenbrenner in the gun, running back to the right. Snap to Aschenbrenner. Drops back. Now he rolls to the right. Throws it low down the field and incomplete. It's Giovanni Williams in coverage. He was right on top of the running back, Israel Newby, the 5'5 senior, who's not able to dig it off the turf. And another great stop deep in Manhattan territory by the Hayden defense.
Yeah, threw it low and a bit behind Newby. Really no way for Newby to grab that. He was sliding and trying to reach back to catch that football.
2 minutes, 56 seconds to go in the opening period. No score between Manhattan and Hayden. Manhattan has now run just 6 offensive plays across its 2 drives and has ended up punting on both drives. Aschenbrenner is now out there to punt for the Indians. Snowden punted the first time. It's a high snap. Aschenbrenner pulls it down and unleashes a rocket of a punt that bounces at the 46-yard line of Manhattan. It's fielded by Skylar Speck, grabbed by the arm in the middle of the field, and eventually wrangled down to the ground. Approximately 1, maybe 2 yards on the return. Speck tried to deke a defender and get up the field, but he was grabbed by the forearm and went down at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Kyler Hong was the one who grabbed Speck, but threw him off balance enough that got the other Manhattan defenders there to knock him for a loss on that kick return.
2:44 on the clock. Johnny Holloway, starting quarterback for Hayden, back in the game. He was a little bit sore after an incomplete pass on 3rd down on the last drive. He goes under center for 1st down, this time for the Wildcats. DeVader, the fullback's the deep man. Desmond Purnell, motion to the right. Hand up to DeVader on 1st down. He goes up the middle. He's wrapped around the waist, carries the defender with him for about 2 extra yards, and reaches the 49-yard line of Hayden. It was Jeremiah Eustachio who wrapped up DeVader right around the waist, a waist lock wrestling hold, and DeVader was still able to move ahead for 5 yards.
He's one of the few players you will see going inside the tackles that he doesn't get tackled on the first try. He never gets tackled on the first try.
Holloway back under center. DeVader the deep man. Purnell and Rayner are the wingbacks. It's an inside give and a great play by the Manhattan front to drop DeVader in the backfield. Tremendous play by the nose tackle, Darius O'Connell, 2nd team All-Centennial League last season, and he blows up that play. They're going to rule forward progress for DeVader right at the 49-yard line. So officially no gain on the carry. 3rd down and 5 coming up for Hayden with 1:45 to go in the 1st quarter.
Well, that easily could have been a loss, but they get lucky there in that aspect. And let's see what they do on a 3rd and middle distance play.
2 receivers to the left. Williams, the deepest receiver. Specht in the slot left. 2 receivers to the right as well. Holloway in an empty gun. Desmond Purnell comes in motion. It's a fly sweep to him. He tosses back to Williams. Giovanni Williams, wide receiver pass, and he's got a man wide open down the right sideline. Huge gain for the Hayden Wildcats. It's Trey Pivarnik deep down the field for a huge 1st down for Hayden. All the way up to the 10-yard line. 1st and goal for the Wildcats.
39 yards on that double reverse. They fell asleep in the backfield and left Pivarnik wide open.
And that big play came at a cost because Trey Pivarnik has to head off the field grabbing his right shoulder. He's off on the sideline.
Yeah, whoever tackled him almost went head-to-head, but it might have been he got popped by the helmet right in the shoulder.
He's working on that right shoulder with someone from the medical personnel team for Hayden on the sideline. Now with 1:03 to go in the first quarter, it's a first down handoff to Will DeVader, and he is dragged down instantly once he gets to the line, and we've got a flag flying in as well.
Yeah, it came from the side judge. And that could be a hold, that could be a procedure call.
Officials are going to discuss it now. Jake, you think you saw what the penalty was?
I think it's either a hold or it is not enough men on the line of scrimmage is what it looks like.
It's against Hayden either way, and the officials are going to move the ball back to the 21-yard line. We do have official word now. It was a holding call against Hayden. So they are back 10 yards from the penalty, which happened about 1.5 yards behind the line, Greg. So from the 22-yard line now, it is first and goal. 22 yards to go for the Wildcats. 52 seconds on the clock. Holloway, first down handoff. It's Purnell sweeping from right to left, gets up the middle, breaks a couple of tackles, gets inside the 15-yard line to the 13. That's a way to gain back some yardage. A carry of 9 on first and goal from the 22 by Jaden Rayner.
That was a nice run. Good power run. Or was that Purnell?
It was Purnell, pardon me, so that was my mistake on the carry right there.
Yeah.
Credit to Desmond Purnell for the carry.
Yeah, and that's one, though. It's good to see him breaking through tackles, too, like he did there. And now this could be the last play of the first quarter.
Down to 10 seconds on the clock. Holloway under center. DeVader, the fullback behind him. Giovanni Williams, isolated receiver left. It's another reverse. Giovanni Williams from left to right. He turns upfield at about the 10-yard line, breaks a tackle, gets to the goal line, reaches for the pylon, and he is out of bounds, just shy of the mark with 0 seconds on the clock in the opening period. No score, but an eventful first 12 minutes between Manhattan and Hayden. And the Wildcats are knocking on the door of a touchdown coming up here in just a moment. We will take a break at the end of this first quarter. No score between Hayden and Manhattan. You are listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Okay, ladies, we all know one of the greatest feelings in the world when a friend says, "Girl, those pants look amazing on you." Skechers Go Walk Wear line of pants. Find yours at Skechers.com or a Skechers store near you.
O'Reilly Auto Parts has what you need to keep your engine performing at its best. Our professional parts people will help you select just the right products for your car and budget, like 5 parts of Castrol GTX conventional or high mileage motor oil and a microguard filter, just $28.99. Plus
10 seconds.
Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome back to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you. Our field reporter tonight is Jake Laban. Marco Marquez, our producer engineer, back at the Alpha Media Studios. No score between Hayden and Manhattan in a battle of 1-1 teams who have not faced off since 2015. It's been 5 years since these storied programs went head-to-head, both now coming off of losses here in week 3. Important personnel note, Trey Pavarnik, who just had that 39-yard reception for the Wildcats to set up a first and goal, back in the game after tending to a dinged-up right shoulder. Desmond Purnell with the ball at the goal line in the Wildcat formation. Barks the signals, takes the snap, he runs off guard to the right, gets to the goal line, touchdown, Wildcats! And Hayden is on the board first, 3 seconds into the second quarter on a keeper out of the Wildcat by senior stud Desmond Purnell.
You know, we were talking about that, Brendan, last week during the week, that we didn't see any Wildcat formation out of Hayden in the game against Seaman. And normally it's been Desmond Purnell who ran it there and gets the easy 1-yard touchdown.
A drive that lasted 6 plays and took 2 minutes and 47 seconds on the clock breaks our scoreless tie. Skylar Specht now getting ready to kick the extra point. Gavin Arnold, the holder. High snap. The kick is up, and the kick is true. Speck boots through the extra point, and the Hayden Wildcats early on in the second quarter with a 7-0 lead over the Manhattan Indians. We'll take a break. We'll be right back on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Class, instead of history, let's talk about your future. For many of you, that includes college. Like I told my own kids, the Invista College Roadmap provides you with the tools and resources to help reach your college goals. It'll guide you through finding your true cost of college, comparing schools, discovering scholarships, financial awards, and lots more. So open your browsers, go online to InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com. It's easy and it's free.
Visit InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com to find out more.
Insured by NCUA.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We
6
live
seconds. Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
11:57 to go in the first half on our Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Hayden with a 7-0 lead over Manhattan after a 1-yard touchdown run by Desmond Purnell for the Wildcats. Skylar Speck, the senior kicker, sends an end-over-end kick away. It is short, fielded at the 24-yard line by Manhattan's Joe Hall on the near sideline. He is spun around but stays on his feet. He's running the wrong way, though. Goes all the way from left sideline to right and eventually is thrown down behind the 20-yard line. So a great job on kick coverage again by Hayden. And Manhattan is going to start this drive at about its own 17-yard line.
Here's the difference on what we've seen in the first quarter. Hayden at the end of the first quarter, 18 total plays, 114 yards. Manhattan 2 3 and out, so just 6 plays for 13 yards.
Two receivers isolated left for Manhattan to start this drive, moving from right to left across your radio dial. Quarterback Dane Ashenbrenner in the gun. He now boots to his left. Looks like a designed keeper. It is a keeper. He gets past the original line of scrimmage, up past the 20, spins forward, and reaches for the 25-yard line. A great carry that time by the star senior quarterback for Manhattan, Dane Ashenbrenner. Came into this game with 213 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. This season averages about 6 yards per carry. That time he gains 8 on first down.
By far biggest run of the night for Manhattan. Still trying to get the first down, too.
Longest play overall to this point. Just the 7th offensive play they've run as we're now 24 seconds into the second quarter. Ashenbrenner in the gun again. Vinny Smith to his right. It's a toss play to Smith going to the right. Gets outside, has a block on the edge. Smith's got room to run. Gets blasted in the secondary and bounces off a tackler, getting past the 40-yard line along the right sideline. First down for Manhattan. A great run that time by Smith. Call it 16 yards and a first down for the Indians.
16 yards. And I think that was Giovanni Williams was the one who got blasted, courtesy of Vinny Smith.
And you have to credit the new guy out there in the secondary for the Wildcats for seeking out contact. But Smith, a bulldozing running back, stands just 5'8", but 180 pounds. And the junior packs a punch when he puts his shoulders down. Manhattan now up to the 41-yard line, facing a first down and 10. Wing to the right, running back to the right, and now motion for the Indians. Ashenbrenner takes a snap, hands to Smith. He sweeps to the left, gets up the middle. Smith reaches for midfield and has a group of Wildcats hold him up and bring him down. Gain of about 8 yards. Once again on first down. So 2 first downs on this drive, 2 8-yard runs to set up a second and short for the Indians.
Yeah, that was a good cutback by Vinny Smith. Saw the play going left. Decided nothing was there, but knowing that they were all moving to the right, the Hayden defense, he cut it back to get that extra yardage.
The Manhattan spread running attack starting to work a little bit more against this Hayden defense. Ball's on the far right hash. One receiver isolated wide side left. Everyone else bunched up to the right. Now some motion for the Indians. Ashenbrenner takes a snap, triple option play. He's going to toss it to the outside, and Mason Reed. Reed along the sideline is able to get first down yardage about a yard ahead of the sticks at the 47-yard line. Second first down on this drive for Hayden after they went 3 and out on their first 2 possessions.
Good 5-yard gain. Reed started on the wing, went in motion, reversed behind the quarterback, and then was the pitch man for Dane Ashenbrenner, but got the first down.
A lot of window dressing on that play, and it pays off with the Indians able to move the sticks. Wide receiver Tate Brown is isolated, wide side left for Manhattan. Ashenbrenner in the gun. Takes a snap at the pass play for Manhattan. Ashenbrenner deep, throws it back over the middle, and he completes it to Joe Hall, crossing over the middle of the field up to the 36-yard line. A gain of 11 through the air, already the longest drive of the game for Manhattan. That completion of 11 sets up another first down for the Indians, now on the near left hash.
Yeah, Purnell had pretty decent coverage and hit Hall just as soon as he caught the football. Hall did a good job holding on to the football, but had enough there for the first down. So the drive continues for the Indians.
Just over 2 minutes gone in the second quarter, 7-0. Hayden with the lead over Manhattan. Manhattan is in plus territory for the first time at the Hayden 36. Reed in motion again. Ashenbrenner barks up the signals. It's another toss to Reed. This time Reed will throw. He's going deep for the end zone, and he just overshoots his target. He was looking deep for Israel Newby, and he just put too much mustard on the throw, and he overshot his running back, running the wheel down the far sideline.
Boy, and it was there, too. They had the right play on. Kind of had that same look where Reed goes into motion, then runs behind as the pitch man. Quick pitch, and Newby did a good job of getting some steps on his defender. And I think that was, Giovanni Williams on that right side, too, but not able to get the pass completed.
These coaches throwing their respective kitchen sinks at one another. Each team now in the first half, and not even 15 minutes of gameplay, have used a wide receiver pass. Second down and 10 for Manhattan. Ball at the Hayden 36-yard line. Spread look for the Indians. Running back is Smith, flanking Ashenbrenner to the left. Ashenbrenner with a quarterback keeper goes up the middle, and an ankle tackle to save what could have been a really long run. That is a great job up the middle by the Hayden defense. Making the stop is Clayton Stevenson stepping in at defensive tackle. Call it a gain of 5 yards, but it could have been a whole lot more if not for the ankle tackle.
Yeah, Magana was able to spring Ashenbrenner, but you're right. Boy, they don't get him there. He's got a lot of real estate to run there on that left side.
Ball just inside the near left hash for Manhattan. 9:04 left until halftime. Center Jaden Magana, and all Centennial League honorable mention, steps over the ball. Isolated out to the left side, Tyler Hahn. Ashenbrenner in the gun. Mason Reed in motion from right to left. He turns upfield. Ashenbrenner takes the snap. Pumps to the left, now rolls to the right. He's looking deep for the end zone. Tosses it up for Hahn, and there is a fight for the ball, and it will bounce out of bounds and incomplete. Ashenbrenner showing off the cannon that time, looking for the end zone, but a trio of Wildcats are deep back there to break it up. That included Giovanni Williams, who was deep, Desmond Purnell, who was deep, and Jameer Garrett, the linebacker, fading back in coverage as well. So a 4th down and 5 now for Manhattan at the Hayden 31-yard line. And they've got an all-league kicker in Grant Snowden, Greg, but from 48 yards, that's a long field goal to attempt early in the first half in a 7-0 game.
Yeah, you're in 4-down territory here. And so they're going to go up here. Elio is actually in there at one of the backs, too.
Ashenbrenner in the gun. 2 receivers and a wing to the right. Elalio in as a wingback. Snap to Ashenbrenner. Ashenbrenner turns it upfield. He gets roped in the backfield. He tries diving backwards. He is well short of the line to gain at the 28-yard line. And the Hayden defense makes the stop again, led by the reigning All-Stater, Will DeVader. A short gain does not result in a first down, and the Hayden defense stands and takes over. 8:34 to go until halftime.
He was following his block of Elalio, but the problem was Elalio stopped, hesitated. Ashenbrenner went on. He didn't follow him completely, thought he had enough room. Obviously not enough, and they held on downs.
Hayden now takes over on offense. 8:34 to go in the first half. Snap is handed off to Jaden Rayner. Rayner turns it up to the 35, to the 40, to midfield, to the 40. No one's going to catch Rayner. 20, 10, touchdown, Wildcats. What a run from Jaden Rayner. The Wildcats get right up to the line. Rayner takes a sweep, and he runs all the way off tackle right for a Wildcats touchdown. 12 seconds later, Hayden leads 13-0.
Boy, you think, what were they going to do got just enough of a hole, and it didn't take much for Jaden Rayner to find that hole and get into the secondary, and he was gone. 73 yards on that play for the touchdown.
A one-play drive that takes all of 12 seconds. As Specht gets ready for the extra point attempt, it's a line drive end over end, and it is good. And after the 73-yard touchdown run, the Hayden Wildcats lead the Manhattan Indians 14-0, 8:22 to go until halftime. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Have you been back to Burlington lately? Your store is now restocked, so hurry in for more unbelievable deals on amazing brands and styles at up to 60% off other retailers' prices every day. Stop back in to see the fabulous values you've back into your Burlington today and
one hit. Over 10 years later, he's still amazed by what he created.
When you get in the studio and you hear those musicians playing it, you're like, wow, this is
10 seconds.
Amazing. I can't believe I wrote that.
Boot Barn strives to offer a piece of the American spirit, one handshake at a time. Boot Barn, proud supporters of the West.
Hayden kicks away, leading 14-0. It is a short kickoff fielded for Manhattan by Ty Jackson on the near sideline. Now he switches all the way to the right sideline. Laundry comes flying in behind the return as Jackson gets up to the 36 of Manhattan. But, Greg, I think this call is coming back for a block in the back, and that is the call. So move the Indians back as they start their fourth drive of the game, trailing Hayden by a margin of 14-0. Let's send it to our field reporter, Jake LeBon.
Yeah, what a phenomenal run by Rayner. And it was a great lead block by the pulling left guard, kicked out the outside linebacker. And you can tell Will DeVader is a factor in this one. Everybody went to the dive man, and it was essentially one-on-one, and it was a foot race. Tremendous blocking up front, but a great pull by the left guard.
The blocking obviously important for any run-based offense. And now Manhattan will have to try to figure something out offensively, starting at its own 14-yard line with 8:13 to go until the break.
Yeah, drives are going to be at a premium, too, because they're both run-based teams, so you're going to take a lot of time off of the clock as well.
Spread for the Indians, two receivers to the right. Ashton Brenner takes a high snap, hands it off to Vinny Smith. Smith gets up to about the 20-yard line. Pair of Wildcats make the stop, led by DeVader. So a gain of about 7 yards on the carry. Credit given for an extension of the arms at the end of the play. Second down and short now for the Indians. Coming into this one at 1-1 on the season. Won their opener over Garden City at home. Lost on the road to Junction City last week. Now two wide receivers left. Running back flanking Ashton Brenner to the left is Smith. Smith takes the handoff. He goes up the middle, and he is dropped. A quick, sudden tackle from underneath. And a very nice athletic play made by Ben Evans, the sophomore nose guard. Makes a tackle for loss. Actually, they'll get credit for a yard on the play. Greg, I thought he was dropped behind the line, but he did fall a little bit forward, and will get a yard for his trouble. But nonetheless, it is a third down and short for Manhattan.
Here's another key third down play, and looks like Manhattan, Joe Sharks wants to talk about it. He'll take a timeout.
And we will take it with them. 7:11 to go in the second quarter. Hayden with a 14-0 lead over Manhattan here on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Adopt a duck. Help a child win a prize. Adopt your ducks today in the Sertoma Great Topeka Duck Race and race them to the finish line. On Saturday, September 19th, the Ducks will begin their race at 10 a.m. Winners and prizes will be announced online this year. Lucky winners will receive great prizes like a 2012 Ford Focus hatchback from Laird Noller Dealerships and a chance to win $1 million. 100% of the proceeds will benefit Topeka charities, and they need your support more than ever this year. Visit any Alpha Media website and adopt your duck online today.
I'm a cool little yellow fella. I wish I had a family. So come on and take a whack at it. Adopt a racing duck for charity. I'm a cool little yellow fella. Tell me, how can you resist my
10 seconds.
A say it again, I can help you win the Great Topeka Duck Race.
7:11 to go in the second quarter. 3rd down and 2 for Manhattan. Aschenbrenner, the quarterback keeper, runs up the middle, gets past the 26 to about the 27-yard line, and that is a first down for the Indians. Good carry by Aschenbrenner that time. A man on a mission is able to gain a few yards and gain the first down.
Yeah, good job of reading the blocks, picking his time there to get through the hole, get the first down, get him a set of fresh downs.
Call that 5 yards on the carry for a first down. Now under 7 minutes to go in the first half. Aschenbrenner in the gun. Barks out the signals, takes the snap. It's a keeper again. He fakes the handoff to Mason Reed. He has to take one step and lunge forward up past the 30-yard line to the 31. Gain of 4 yards on first down for Aschenbrenner. He's averaging about 6 yards per carry on the season, just a shade under that. He's carried the last 2 for Manhattan. Ball centered between the hashes now. 2nd down and 7 coming up.
Yeah, 7 carries, 28 yards for Aschenbrenner. Pulled it late out of Reed's belly, and then, yeah, like you said, he had to dive to get the yardage he did, but he did get 4 on the play, or 3 on the play.
Line to gain is the 38-yard line. Motion for Manhattan. Aschenbrenner now will fake a handoff and throw. He won't even get the chance to wind up. The Hayden defense in the backfield with a sack. Joe Otting in the backfield. He participates in the sack. Clayton Stevenson in the backfield once again as well. 3rd down and long coming up for Manhattan. Moved all the way back to the 27 and a half yard line. And Jake, it was a lot of good coverage on the back end that created that sack.
You could tell he wanted to go deep, but it was covered, and thus able to have the linebacker that time, seeing no back out of the backfield, able to get to him in time. Great job covering that time by Giovanni Williams. You could tell he wanted to go deep.
And we've got another timeout called by Manhattan. We'll keep it here with you. Indians with the ball, trailing 14-0, losing to the Hayden Wildcats here at Hayden High School tonight. Don't forget that on Monday night at 6 o'clock, tune into the 580 WIBW Wings Etc. High School Coaches Club, brought to you by Wings Etc.'s new location in Topeka in Fairlawn Plaza. We'll speak to all 7 city coaches about this week's action and look ahead to next week as well. That's the Wings Etc. High School Coaches Club, Monday at 6 on 580 WIBW.
Couple of scores to give you. Big game tonight between Perry-Lecompton and Holton. 6:55 left to go first half. Perry-Lecompton leads 14-7. Another big game in Class 4A between number 2 Paola and number 3 Tonganoxie. They're tied at 14. That is in the second quarter. And Mill Valley. Yes, Mill Valley, number 1 in Class 5A, playing an out-of-state opponent tonight. They're playing Bentonville, Arkansas, and Bentonville, Arkansas leads 14-7. And Bishop Carroll and Derby are playing. Bishop Carroll with an early 7-0 lead over Derby early in the second quarter.
14-0 lead for Hayden, ranked by K-Preps as the number 4 team in the state in Class 3A right now. Defense has been good all night. Now they've got Manhattan facing a 3rd down and 10 from its own 27. Aschenbrenner with a deep drop, looking to his right, throws over the middle, nearly picked off by Desmond Purnell. The free safety flies in, isn't able to haul it in, but the ball will go way too deep and incomplete. And Manhattan is going to have to punt yet again, trailing 14-0. And Greg, we cannot say enough about this Hayden defensive effort tonight.
Yeah, they have definitely stepped it up. Aschenbrenner, actually, there was a hold against Manhattan, but that penalty's been declined. Saw that late flag in the backfield, so they declined the penalty. But, yeah, give credit to this Hayden defense. They have been stout here in this first half with 5:28 left to go.
Interesting to note on this punt return, Skylar Speck, the deep man, Desmond Purnell, the short returner. Hayden has had some problems on punt reception this year. And a wobbly kick deep for Manhattan, bounces at the 34-yard line and takes a Manhattan roll all the way down to the 22 of Hayden. 5:18 to go until halftime. Wildcats ball. And it will be once again Johnny Holloway for the offense, quarterback coming in to start things for Hayden.
Boy, if you're Manhattan right now, how important is this defensive possession right here? You got 5:18 left to go. Hayden just came off of that big touchdown run by Jaden Rayner, 73 yards. And you're down already 2 scores, 14-0.
Purnell and Jaden Rayner are the wings, right and left. Now Purnell goes in motion. He takes a sweeping handoff going to the left, breaks through one tackle, gets into the open field. Purnell is loose to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. You can play the fight song. Touchdown, Wildcats. Back-to-back offensive plays for Hayden go deep down the field. A 73-yard score followed by a 79-yard score, and Hayden leads 20-0 midway through the second quarter.
You are seeing the Hayden offense at full gallop, at full motion. The last two plays, 152 yards on the ground. 5 carries, 99 yards for Desmond Purnell. Not too bad of a ratio there.
Unbelievable back-to-back set of plays for Hayden as Specht gets ready for the extra point. Good hold by Gavin Arnold. The kick is up, and it is a beauty. 21-0. Hayden leads Manhattan with 5:06 to go until the break. Hayden has scored 70-plus yard touchdowns on each of its last 2 plays. A 73-yard run by Jaden Rayner mere moments ago, followed by that 79-yard touchdown run by Desmond Purnell. For Purnell, he has scored already this season, entering this game, the only player in the city with an offensive, defensive, and special teams touchdown. Will tack on 79 more yards, 152 yards of offense, and 24 total seconds over the last 2 plays for a pair of scores for the Wildcats. And Jake, you mentioned it on that last score for Hayden, the great blocking up front, once again, just gaping holes for Purnell to run through.
And that time, all he had to do was get by the first about 5-7 yards, and once he gets past that, nobody there had an angle, and we all know how fast Desmond Purnell can scoot. Another great job blocking up front, and this offense is very difficult. It's almost like a triple option where you have to guard your responsibility. If you're supposed to take the dive man, you've got him. If you got the pitch man, you got him. Very difficult offense to figure out. Seeing again, the problem what happened last week against Seaman is that they were down 21-0. They couldn't run it. They had to throw it a lot more. So you're seeing what the Hayden Wildcats really want to do is get out quick and get out quick early.
Skylar Specht kicks the ball away for Hayden, kicking from left to right, fielded at the 25-yard line by Ty Jackson. He sweeps back to the right, and he's lassoed and brought down. Excellent job in kick coverage for Hayden. Once again, J.C. Cummings down the field makes the nice arm tackle. The special teams coverage, great. We have heard week after week to start this year. Bill Arnold has been, frankly, furious at the special teams effort for his Wildcats. They've been tremendous on the teams tonight.
They have been. You reckon Bill Arnold's message got through to this team this week? Boy, they're playing like that in all 3 phases of the game. Offense, defense, and don't forget special teams.
5:02 to go in the first half. Hayden leads Manhattan 21-0. Manhattan with the ball. It's an inside dive on first down to Mason Reed. Reed will gain about 4 yards up to the 26-yard line. Possession started at the 22. So a gain of 4 for Mason Reed, who came into the game just 25 yards on the season on the ground. The leading receiver this year, however, for Manhattan was 6 grabs for 113 yards. Second down and 6 now for Manhattan. 4.5 minutes to go until the break. Brenner under center with a double wing look. Motion comes. Brenner fakes a counter play. Will keep the ball instead, running off tackle to the right, and he's got enough yardage for a first down. He gets all the way up to the 34-yard line, so a gain of 8 for the quarterback, Brenner, and a first down for Manhattan.
Yeah, following his running back, Jackson Bowles, who had a good lead block up front. And this is where Brenner can be dangerous because he can get chunk yardage like that off of his quarterback slot and in the experience he's had there as a 3-year starter for Manhattan.
Joe Hall, the only receiver in the formation. He's isolated far out to the left, covered by Specht. It's an inside give on 1st and 10, and the Hayden defensive line is right there. Excellent play up front. Clayton Stevenson again at the bottom of the pile. Will DeVader going up high for the tackle as well. Gain of a yard on 1st and 10 to bring up 2nd down and 9.
Haven't seen Will Hoyt, I think, the entire game, and haven't seen Vinny Smith on this drive either.
Brenner will back things up into the spread look, facing a 2nd down and 9, 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Motion comes. Brenner turns around, hands it to Reed with some misdirection. Reed gets up past the 35-yard line, and is dropped at the 38. So a gain of 3. It's a reasonably manageable third down distance for Manhattan, 3rd down and 6, but it's a big one for the Indians, Greg, already down by 3 scores.
Yeah, they need to convert. Still a lot of time on the clock, coming up to about 3 minutes left to go first half, but they have to continue this drive.
Ball right between the hashes here at Hayden High School. 1 wide receiver, isolated far left, that's Hall. 2 to the right, Reed. Pardon me, that's Smith in the backfield of Aschenbrenner. Aschenbrenner takes the snap. He rolls to his right, throws near the sideline. It's low, and it bounces off the turf to the receiver. Incomplete. Aschenbrenner working to the outside. He was trying to find Tate Brown, and he bounced it into him. And that 3rd down that Manhattan needed, they aren't able to convert. 2:44 to go in the second quarter, and it looks like Hayden is going to get the ball once again.
I was going to say, we'll see where to get it position-wise. Normally you'd think about maybe passing more for Hayden, but when you've gained 152 yards on your last 2 offensive plays,
no reason to really change the approach. High snap to Aschenbrenner, who gets away a kick the middle of the ball. It bounces through the arms of Skylar Speck, and deep down the field, Ty Jackson dives on it. If that touched Speck, it's a live ball, and it's Manhattan's.
But there's no call yet.
Waiting for the official signal. Referee standing over it. We're waiting. Still waiting.
Hayden offense is out on the field. No, they didn't say. They said he didn't. Boy, Jake, the way Speck reacted, you would think he thought he touched the football.
It looked like it was bang, bang. It might have went right through his hands and not even touched him. A low-line drive punt from Aschenbrenner, but, I mean, that's probably 50-50. It could have just landed right in front of him and scooted forward. Whatever the official says, I mean, it's probably as good a guess as that you or Brennan or anybody has.
A tough play, like Jake said, bang, bang. Hayden benefits from the call with 2:37 to go, moving from left to right, ball on the near right hash. Holloway takes the snap, hands it up to Desmond Purnell, sweeping to the left. He gets to the outside, got one man to beat. He's not able to beat him.
Nice
Excellent
play.
tackle on the outside. That tackle made
Is that Joe Hall?
by Joe Hall, coming in on the defensive side of the ball, trying to add some athleticism to the defense. He makes the stop.
Yeah, because if he doesn't tackle him, Desmond Purnell easily could have had his second 79-yard touchdown run on that play.
Ball marks down at the 25-yard line, so just a gain of 4. That snaps the 2-play streak of 73-plus yard plays. Giovanni Williams into the game, isolated receiver to the right, double wing and a deep back, under center for Hayden. Holloway waits. Holloway pump fakes. Now he's going to throw deep down the field. He was looking for Giovanni Williams, but he wasn't even close with the throw. Now Holloway trying to stretch out the arm a little bit there. He threw it well to the inside. Williams was running the wheel to the outside. 3rd down and 6 now coming up for Hayden. Minute 50 to go in the second quarter. And another tough situation here, Greg. Do you throw it with a 3rd and medium, or do you try to go back to the well where it's been working so far on 3rd and 6 and keep it on the ground?
Yeah, first thing Holloway and Williams do talk about where they were supposed to be, because that was not on the same page. Now they're going to have to hurry here because the play clock. Now they don't have the play clock scoreboards, and now Bill Arnold wants a timeout. You know, that makes me wonder, do they try to spread? Do they try to roll out Holloway one way or the other to see if they can get something open like that? But knowing you've had 2 70-plus yard touchdowns by Rayner and by Purnell too, Manhattan's got to be looking at all types of threats.
You have to be careful of not allowing the deep threat. Now that seed planted in the mind of the defense could play in big here on 3rd down. It's a 3rd down with 6 yards to go for Hayden. Nose of the ball at the 25-yard line with a minute 50 to go until halftime. And coming up at halftime, we'll get you a scoring summary and drive summary from the first half. Greg will have your first half stats, and we'll get you some other scores from around the area. Another busy night in Northeast Kansas and throughout the state in high school football. That's coming up in just a minute 50 of game time. But first, a crucial 3rd down. Greg, we were just talking about how important it was for Manhattan to get the 3rd down when they were last on offense. Well, now if you give this up to Hayden, the Wildcats are in complete control until the break. Plus, Hayden gets the ball to start the second half.
They get the ball to start the second half as well. Now, they've run empty backfield a couple of times offensively, Hayden has. Let's see what they come out with here. No, still going to keep it pretty tight.
It's DeVader, the fullback, double wings in, Williams isolated right. Holloway calls the signals. He's going to hand it off to Jaden Rayner, goes around to the right, and he is brought down. Excellent tackle by Jeremiah Estaquillo. Tackle made at the 28-yard line. So a gain of just 3, 4th down and 3 coming up for Hayden. A minute and a half to go until halftime, and another tough decision for Bill Arnold's Wildcats.
Well, you've got that cushion up 21-0 and the clock running, and 1 timeout in your pocket too. This may be Bill Arnold calling his last timeout, trying to get that time to go down, and it may be just to say, you know what, we're not in a 4th and under 5 where we could try to draw them off sides. He may be just drawing the timeout, call the timeout, and punt the football.
They did just adjust on the scoreboard the distance to go. It is officially a 4th and 4. Call it a long 3 approximately. Ball between the 27 and 28-yard lines. So Hayden will call its final timeout. 54 seconds left until halftime.
Yep.
Wildcats lead by 21.
And this may be where Manhattan just keeps their defense in, because Speck, who also plays on offense, can kick the football too. Now, let's see if Holloway goes out and just tries to get a long count and see what they're able to do, because, boy, this is an area one would think, logic would say you would punt the football on your own 28-yard line. But the way this offense has been playing right now, you know they're more than capable of getting that 4 yards if they decide to go for it.
Also important to note, Greg, that Desmond Purnell often does the punting duties for Hayden as well, or either he or Specht will be the one-man shield in front of the punter. So there's a lot of different things you can go for. And I think that's a good point. If you're Manhattan, I think you have to play this as safely as possible to not give up another potential big play.
I think Joe Shart says, yeah, we're going to keep our defense out there regardless of what formation they come in, because of the fact that Purnell is capable of running out of a punting situation, or he could be one of the up men, or Speck could be one of the up men, and you could easily snap it on that short snap to him too.
Both teams still standing near their sidelines, huddling up. Now a whistle, and the teams will break those huddles. 4th down and a long 3 for Hayden. Desmond Purnell is deep behind center in what looks to be almost a short punt formation. Only about, call that an 8-yard snap. Purnell calls it a signal. He's getting some motion, and we've got timeout called from the far sideline, and Manhattan's going to use its last timeout.
You know what they tried to do? Jake, what it looks like they tried to do, they tried to hide Giovanni Williams on that far right sideline. Manhattan, the assistant coaches finally caught that, so maybe they're going to try a little trickery there to see, just kind of put someone near the sideline and see if he could remain open.
And it almost worked. It really did. You could see Giovanni Williams on the sideline smacking his hands together going, gosh, we almost had him. And if I was Bill Arnold, I would punt the football, play one down of defense, and you're going to get the football to start the second half. Why risk anything when you're up 21-0 to potentially give Manhattan good field position for a potential Hail Mary? I kick it, punt it, down it probably with 40 seconds to go in the first half, and you get the ball to start the second half.
And it's also significant to note here, Greg, that even though the fake play doesn't work, you do get a little bit of a consolation prize, because now Manhattan, with no timeouts remaining in this half, even if the Indians do get the ball, they're not going to have a timeout to attempt something deep.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like coming out almost in the same look that they had previous to the timeout.
Purnell 8 yards behind Stevenson. Motion comes from Stephen Moore. Purnell takes the snap, and he leans into a kick, gets it high and deep. It bounces at the 33-yard line, takes a Manhattan bounce, and is eventually downed by Williams at the 36 of Manhattan. 46 seconds even left in the first half. Manhattan does not have any timeouts, but does have the ball, looking to get on the board here before halftime.
one would think off this first down, you're going to have at least a medium to long pass here to help get you where you need to be, knowing that you have to go about 65 yards to get a score.
Just a couple pass attempts in this game for Aschenbrenner. He's got Mason Reed in the backfield, flanking him to the right. Hall, the isolated receiver, to the left. Trips Bunch to the right. Aschenbrenner fakes a throw. He's taking it up the middle. He's got some room to run past the 40. Cuts to his left at the 45. Tries weaving between defenders. He's got enough for a first down. Marked down at the 48-yard line. A rough tackle that time to bring him down. That tackle was made for Hayden by Joe Otting, the defensive lineman, getting back to make the stop. Gain of 12. First and 10 for Manhattan. Aschenbrenner looking to throw. He loads up, throwing deep down the right sideline. He underthrows his man, and it is nearly picked off by Williams. Williams frustrated with himself. He couldn't haul it in with his right hand, but Aschenbrenner underthrew his receiver by a good 7 or 8 yards. Second down and 10, 26 seconds left until the break.
Yeah, and if that was on, they might have gotten an interference call against one of the Hayden defenders, against Newby, the wide receiver, who was too deep, but obviously underthrown enough. They probably threw that off as far as any type of penalty.
Newby in the slot to the right. Reed in the backfield, flanking Aschenbrenner to the right. Hall, the receiver, left. Aschenbrenner takes the snap. Pressure comes. He rolls a little bit to the right, throws it back over the middle, completes it to Tate Brown. Oh, my goodness, what a hit! Giovanni Williams, welcome to the show, lays the wood after a big play. What a hit after the catch by Tate Brown. We're down to 7 seconds. Manhattan trying to snap the ball to stop the clock, and they can. 4.5 seconds left. Giovanni Williams making his presence felt in the defensive backfield. 4.5 seconds left. Let's reset for you after that catch. Ball is up at the 43-yard line. Tail of the ball at the 43-yard line. It is 4th down and 1. It was a 9-yard catch by Tate Brown. And now 4.5 seconds left for Manhattan to throw up a prayer to the end zone. 3 receivers right, 2 to the left. Left side is the wide side, ball on the right hash. Aschenbrenner in the gun. Low snap. Blitz comes from Hayden. Aschenbrenner leans back, throws it deep down the field, and there is absolutely no one between the hashes. And that is how our first half comes to an end. 21-0. Hayden with the lead over Manhattan. That will send us to our 580 Preps halftime show. We'll get you a scoring summary and drive summary from the first half, get you the first half stats, and take a look at scores from around the area. That's coming up in 120 seconds right here on the 580 Preps and Vista Credit Union Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
And now, here's your Culligan water cooler talk for the week. The trend these days is virtual. Everything. And this weekend, you can try a variety of new things online, like an herbal cocktail class, a stand-up comedy course. And on Sunday, even the Emmy Awards go virtual, honoring the best in TV from over 100 different locations with Jimmy Kimmel hosting. Culligan's high-efficiency water softener is the world.
Wireless companies say they're the only way to get the best coverage.
Because they've got like a gajillion cell towers?
Something like that. But Straight Talk Wireless runs on those same towers, so you get the same great networks for up to 50% less.
I wonder if they're counting that one in Kickapoo, Kansas.
Oh boy. Switch today and get our unlimited plan for just $45 a month with 25 gigs at high speeds and no contract. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
Savings may vary. See straighttalk.com. Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com, Babbel.com.
KTPK Topeka, Country 106.9.
Welcome back to Hayden High School. First half. Snap is handed off to Jaden Rayner. Rayner turns it up to the 35, to the 40, to midfield, to the 40. No one's going to catch Rayner. 20, 10, touchdown, Wildcats. What a run for Jaden Rayner. The Wildcats get right up to the line. Rayner takes a sweep, and he runs all the way off tackle right for a Wildcats touchdown. 12 seconds later, Hayden leads 13-0. That was Jaden Rayner on the first of back-to-back 73 and 79-yard touchdowns by the Hayden Wildcats. A big reason why Bill Arnold's Hayden team is up 21-0 over Manhattan here at halftime of the Vista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi here with you. Jake Laban, our field reporter tonight. Let's get you a summary of the scoring from the first half. Manhattan started with the ball, and on its first two possessions went 3 and out both times. A theme of the great defense so far this night, by the Hayden Wildcats. Meanwhile, Hayden, on its first drive, it lasted 12 plays and ended in a Johnny Holloway interception. But after that, Hayden got right back and was able to score one drive later. A 6-play drive capped off by a 1-yard touchdown lunge by Desmond Purnell. But right before that, it was a 39-yard wide receiver pass play from Giovanni Williams, the new kid on the block, his first game for the Hayden Wildcats, throwing it deep for Trey Pivarnik to set up the score. After that, it was back-to-back plays, 73 yards by Jaden Rayner, 79 yards by Desmond Purnell, back-to-back touchdowns for the Hayden Wildcats. That got us to our score of 21-0. On the other side for Manhattan, a really tough game offensively for the Indians so far in this one, along with those two 3-and-outs to start the game. Their third drive early in the second quarter ended after 9 plays, took over 3 minutes off the clock, ended in a turnover on downs. And then to finish off the next two possessions, 6 plays and a punt, 5 plays and a punt. Then on the final possession of the first half, it was just 46 seconds to work with, and it ended in a deep incompletion by starting quarterback Dane Aschenbrenner. That gives us our halftime score of 21-0. The 1-1 Hayden Wildcats leading the 1-1 Manhattan Indians. With the stats from the first half, my partner Greg Akagi.
All right, Brendan, thank you very much. And, well, going to be an obvious difference as far as yardage is concerned. For Hayden in the first half, 15 rushes, 209 yards. Overall passing-wise, 5 of 8 for 65 yards. No touchdowns and 1 interception. So 23 total plays, 274 yards for Hayden. For Manhattan, they had it considerably more in the second quarter, but obviously did not score in that second quarter. 20 rushes, 93 yards. Passing-wise, overall, 3 of 10, 27 yards, and no touchdowns, no interceptions. So 30 total plays, actually, for 120 yards. It helps for Hayden now. You have less plays than Manhattan, due in part you scored 2 70-plus yard touchdowns as well. Desmond Purnell, 6 rushes, 103 yards. Will DeVader, 3 rushes, 15 yards. Jaden Rayner, 4 rushes for 80 yards. Giovanni Williams, 1 rush for 13 yards. Johnny Holloway, 1 for -2. Holloway is 4 of 6 on the day for 26 yards and an interception. And Giovanni Williams, 1 for 1 on that pass, wide receiver pass, for 39 yards. Trey Pivarnik, the big receiver, he has 3 receptions, 55 yards for the contest. For Manhattan, Dane Aschenbrenner, 10 rushes for 46 yards. Vinny Smith, 6 rushes for 34 yards, but really didn't see him for only about a quarter and a half. And Mason Reed, 4 rushes for 13 yards. Aschenbrenner, 3 of 9 passing for 27 yards. And Mason Reed, also a wide receiver pass, but was 0 of 1 on the day. Joe Hall, 2 receptions for 18 yards overall. Some updated scores to give you out of the Lawrence area. Playing Olathe schools tonight at halftime. Olathe North 14, Free State 3. And at halftime, Lawrence High 21, Olathe West 7. Lansing shutting out Shawnee Heights at halftime, 34-0. Chase County leading Valley Falls 44-0. Silver Lake and Riley County, they are tied at 7 at halftime.
And that's notable. That's the first game of the year for Silver Lake after they had the 2-week quarantine period.
Yep, absolutely. Opie leading Linden 13-7, that game at half. Jackson Heights 12, Centralia 8, that game is at the half. DeSoto leading Fraser Linwood 28-14, that game is at the half. Game against number 2 and number 3 in Class 4A, Paola and Tonganoxie, 21-14, Paola with the lead at the half.
Actually, an early update in that one. Tonganoxie scored right before the break, 21-all.
21-all in the first half. Osage City shutting out Mission Valley, 21-0, that game at the half. Sedgwick Cardinals leading Jeff West, 21-0, that game in the second quarter. Game in the Centennial League at Al Simpler Stadium. Wow, Junction City putting it to Seaman, 26-7, that game in the second quarter. Also game in the second quarter, Perry LeCompton and Holton, they are tied at 14 overall in the contest. So some of the early scores and some of the things that are going to take or that have been taking place so far in somewhat still truncated schedule. We still have teams that are still not playing. TPS 501 schools will soon be playing, and we'll see how that goes for them. But nonetheless, some pretty good scores here. Changes in schedules like this game. Lawrence High and Free State originally had planned to play the first of their 2 games this week, but when Olathe came back, then they were each able to schedule an Olathe school too. So tough go for several of them. By the way, another score, Mill Valley playing an out-of-state school, Bentonville, Arkansas. That game in the second quarter, and that game is tied at 21.
We'll get to use some more scores throughout the night. First, though, we'll take a quick time out here on our Game of the Week halftime show. When we come back, we'll get you some keys to the second half, and Jake LeBon will talk to Hayden head coach Bill Arnold. That's coming up in just a moment. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
I get asked about college a lot. Where will I go? What will I do? How much will it cost? I couldn't even figure out where to start. My aunt told me about InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com. I used the cost and compare calculator to see what in-state or out-of-state schools I could go to. My aunt keeps sending me to the scholarship page, and everything is in one place.
Switch to Prepared with Invista College Roadmap. Visit InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com to find out more.
Insured by NCUA.
People can help you find just what you need. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is your cousin. From Boston. Shirts versus Skins. I call Skins.
He loves football.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi Blitz.
And Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
Like smooth, like me at QB.
Sam Adams.
Easy with Pizza Hut. We're open for delivery or carryout. Order now at pizzahut.com. From our hut to yours. Delivery areas, charges, and minimums vary. Delivery charge is not a tip.
Purnell and Jaden Rayner are the wings, right and left. Now Purnell goes in motion. He takes a sweeping handoff going to the left, breaks through one tackle, gets into the open field. Purnell is loose to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. You can play the fight song. Touchdown, Wildcats. Back-to-back offensive plays for Hayden. Go deep down the field. A 73-yard score, followed by a 79-yard score, and Hayden leads 20-0 midway through the second quarter. What a stretch of plays for the Hayden Wildcats. They go 73 and 79 yards to the house back to back, and the Wildcats lead 21-0 over the Manhattan Indians at the break here at Hayden High School. Welcome back into the press box. Brendan Dworzinski, Greg Akagi with you. Jake Laban, our field reporter, will speak with Hayden head coach Bill Arnold here in just a moment when the Wildcats leave the locker room. It has been quite a game so far for the Hayden Wildcats, Greg. And looking ahead to this second half, what is going to be the key, not just to maintain this lead, but to build on it as well? Because we know with a talented team like Manhattan, they can come back in this one, even though they don't like to throw the ball all that much.
Yeah, I think it's going to be almost the same message for Bill Arnold and Joe Sharks. Bill Arnold's like, hey, great job. Keep it up. Keep that consistency up in all three phases of the game. And for Manhattan, yeah, there's obviously more sense of urgency. Won't do that there. But I think defensive-wise, he's going to fire up and say, look, we got to stop them right on that first drive and get the football back and be able to start our drive, get something going early offensively, not like they did in the first quarter where they basically had just 2 3-and-outs. They had 6 plays. They ran 24 in the second quarter. As we mentioned, Hayden ran 2 plays, had 2 touchdowns. That's why they had the ball more, but it didn't show on the scoreboard, though, 0 points.
That quick start, so important for this Hayden team. You think back to week 1, the win over Emporia. They go on the road, 47-7. Desmond Purnell starts that game with an interception return for a touchdown. You fast forward to last week, and it's a loss right away. Siemens scores 3 touchdowns on the first 3 possessions of the game, which is crazy to think they're down early to Junction City, 26-7. But the early starts, just such a big key for Hayden.
When you are a run-oriented team and you get down like this, it's so easy that you almost have to get out of your offense in so many ways. Hayden was a prime example of that last week.
They had to throw the ball so many times, and now you're in a situation, if you're Manhattan, Dane Aschenbrenner, the senior, second team all-league last year, only behind Junction City's Andrew Corey, both back this season. You know he can throw. He's got a strong arm, but this is not a pass-based team for Manhattan. So the more and more you rely on them to try to move the ball through the air and get off schedule, get really out of their comfort zone, the harder it's going to be for the Indians to come back.
Yeah, so this is really where that first defensive drive for Manhattan is going to be so key. They're going to have to go, and they're going to have to stop them on a 3-and-out.
It's going to be a key couple of possessions here to start off the second half. Hayden is going to get the ball. That is important to note. They're going to get the ball after deferring the opening kickoff. Manhattan took it, and like we've mentioned a couple times now, went 3-and-out on both of those possessions. Our Jake Laban is down on the field waiting to talk to Bill Arnold, head coach of the Hayden Wildcats. And even with the positive first half, Greg, we know Bill Arnold probably had plenty of things to tell his team to work on there during the break.
Oh, yeah. He never satisfied, but that's why he's had such the success he's had here at Hayden.
So many wins. Again, we've gone over his career record with the Wildcats, 175-60. Let's send this one down to the sideline. Our Jake Laban has Bill Arnold.
Bill, your thoughts on the first half?
I thought our kids came out and did a good job. We played physical tonight. Up to this point, it's a long game here. I mean, Manhattan's a good team, and our kids know that we're going to be in for a battle here, but real happy with the physicality that we came out and played with early.
What do you like best about your defense? Holding them to 0 points in the first half, that's tremendous.
They've done a good job. I mean, alignment tonight's been good. They've been gang tackling. Those are the things that, we didn't see a week ago.
Giovanni Williams brings a little bit extra, doesn't he?
It doesn't hurt at all. He's a good kid.
Hey, that is Bill Arnold, guys.
Thank you, Jake, and thank you to Coach Bill Arnold as well. And Greg, yeah, I would say that's a pretty fair assessment. It's nice to have a player like Giovanni Williams. He's just added so much. Offensively, he comes away with the big wide receiver pass, and he lays the wood with a big hit late in the second quarter as well. It just adds another element that's really going to help this Hayden team down the stretch.
Opponents the next couple of weeks, they're going to watch the film in this game. They're going to see Jaden Rayner run 73 yards. Then they're going to see Desmond Purnell run 79 yards. Oh, by the way, you have someone who's just as fast, who threw a wide receiver pass in this game. He can run the football. He can catch the football. He can throw the football. and they're going to look at it and they're going to go, what in the world are we going up against here?
Hayden with a 21-0 lead over Manhattan at the break. After this timeout, we'll be back with the second half. You're listening to the Investor Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel was created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
At Kia, we're not the oldest SUV maker around. Actually, we're one of the youngest. But what we lack in the cautious restraint of age, we make up for with the gravel pounding, heart racing, relentless ambition of youth. Telluride, Sportage, Sorento SX, and Seltos SX, part of Kia's tough and ready lineup of SUVs with advanced safety like forward collision avoidance assist, emergency braking assist, and available all-wheel drive with torque vector and corner control and center locking differential, backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Kia, give it everything. Hurry to Kia today for great deals on our exciting lineup of SUVs.
Call 853-4KIA for details. Telluride availability may be limited.
10 seconds.
No matter how advanced, can compensate for all driver air and/or driving conditions. Always drive safely. 10-year warranty refers to a limited powertrain warranty. See retailer for warranty details.
Welcome back to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you in the booth at Hayden High School. Jake Laban, our field reporter, Marco Marquez, our producer engineer. The Hayden Wildcats will start the second half with the ball, leading the Manhattan Indians 21-0. 5 years to the day these two teams last faced off. That game was a win for Hayden, 21-14. Well, they've already got 21 in this one after one half. We'll find out what Bill Arnold, Johnny Holloway, Desmond Purnell, and the Hayden Wildcats can do in the second half against a talented and maybe a little bit desperate now team in the Manhattan Indians. It will be Grant Snowden, the junior, first team All-Centennial League pick last year to kick the ball away. He's got it on the right hash. Manhattan will be kicking toward the north end zone. That's left to right as you listen. Desmond Purnell, the deep man, to return this kickoff. He's pacing around at approximately the 12-yard line. Snowden puts his right hand up, approaches the ball, and it's just a little pooch kick. It's short, caught by Skylar Speck. He runs back to the middle of the field, pitches to Purnell at the 25. Purnell now to the sideline to the 35. He gets to the 40, breaks a tackle, cuts inside to the 45. Purnell, he gets up to midfield, and eventually is brought down from behind. What a tremendous return by Desmond Purnell before Jackson Bowles finally is able to tail him down and bring him down just barely across midfield. What a play. Skylar Speck catches it, tosses to Purnell, and number 22 does the rest.
You know, that was smart to be able to do that because get it into your hands of someone who can create exactly like Desmond Purnell. And, boy, he was able to get an extra 30 yards. Hayden starts out outstanding territory inside the Manhattan side of the field.
Quarterback Johnny Holloway goes under center, wing T, heavy to the left. Holloway fakes the handoff, now rolls slightly to his right on the bootleg. He's looking down the field, throws a tight spiral, and he just misses Purnell at the 30-yard line along the far sideline. Holloway, that was one of the cleanest spirals we've seen from him over the last 2 weeks, Greg, but he put a little too much on it and missed Purnell on the corner route. Second down and 10 coming up.
Oh, not by much, though. Boy, he had a newbie beat as well. Got by him. Could have had a long run there. That's probably a good call, though, on that first down play, and especially you're inside Manhattan territory, too.
Go for the big play, try to kill the spirit right off the rip here in the second half. 18 seconds gone in the third quarter. Second down and 10 for Hayden. Ball at the Manhattan 48-yard line. Once again, double wings in the set. Holloway will hand it off up the middle to Will DeVader, and DeVader's got nowhere to go. Manhattan blows it up immediately, and who else? Damian Elalio, the future K-State Wildcat, bursts through the line and makes the stop. Gets some help from Jackson Vickander as well. A gain of exactly nothing for Hayden on 2nd and 10, so call it 3rd down and 10 for the Wildcats.
Well, you get the penetration. You're able to hold them up right at the line. DeVader, absolutely nothing. Off of more of a crossbuck type play to DeVader. Now DeVader's coming out, so they go more to a speed type formation.
The all-state pick, Elalio, the future Power 5 football player, hits last year's City Defensive Player of the Year, Will DeVader in the backfield. Now, 3rd down and 10. Double receiver to the right. Now motion to the right for Purnell. Holloway in the gun. Takes it, deep drop. Now he's going to throw back over the middle. Completes it to Pavarnik. Pavarnik to the 40, 35, and he's wrestled down to the 30-yard line. A high tackle that time by Charles Jones of Manhattan, but not before a first down catch and run on the throwback screen by Trey Pavarnik.
20 yards on the reception, 46 yards now, and Pavarnik, his 4th reception for 75 yards on the.
What a way to return for the Hayden Wildcats for Trey Pavarnik. Sets up a 1st down and 10 at the 28-yard line for Hayden, already up 21-0. Holloway takes the snap, give to the fullback DeVader, and DeVader again has absolutely nowhere to go. The front line for Manhattan, Greg, really has been the strength of the Indians today. DeVader once again has nowhere to go on the run. The official spot is at the 26-yard line. So call it a gain of 2. The nose of the ball resting on the 26.
Yeah, O'Connell was the one that got the first hit on DeVader. And Elalio, by the way, had to come off the field because his helmet came off. So off the field for one play.
That's significant here with 2nd down and 8. Same formation for Hayden, a wing left and right. Holloway will give misdirection up the middle to DeVader, and DeVader thrown overhead suplex style that time by McCoy Link, the reserve defensive end for Manhattan. So a gain up to the 23-yard line, another 3 yards on the ground, 3rd and 5 coming up for Hayden. Ball on the near side, left hash. Left side is the short side of the field. Jaden Rayner is the isolated receiver there. Pavarnik on the left side end of the line. Specht and Purnell to the right. Now Rayner in motion, it's trips right. Holloway screens it outside to Purnell. Purnell's got a block. He cuts it upfield. Gets to the sideline. To the 10, to the 5. Touchdown! Desmond Purnell on the bubble screen. He makes the catch, gets a pair of blocks, and sprints down the sideline for a 23-yard touchdown and a 27-0 lead for the Hayden Wildcats.
Once again, it's pretty simple. Get the ball into the hands of your playmakers and let them create. And boy, did Desmond Purnell create. 27-0. Touchdown by Purnell, his 2nd of the night. 1 running, 1 receiving, 2 receptions, 28 yards.
Skylar Specht's extra point is up and true. And after a drive that takes just 2 minutes and 45 seconds, the Hayden Wildcats extend their lead to 28-0 over the Manhattan Indians. We'll be back in a minute. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Country Artist of the Week, sponsored by Boot Barn. Small Town USA was Justin Moore's first #1 hit. Over 10 years later, he's still amazed by what he created.
When you get in the studio and you hear
What's that?
Friday night, September 25th, at 5 o'clock. Horses at 9. Leavenworth Livestock Auction, Linwood, 913-927-8570. Val, Special Livestock, September 20th. PhillipsAuctioneers.com. Updates, Facebook.
Welcome back to Hayden High School and the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps game of the week. We had a flag on the field.
Illegal participation, yep.
For too many men, and the ball has been moved all the way back to the 17-yard line. So it will be an extra long, extra point attempt now. It's 28-6.
35, in essence, a 35-yard field goal attempt.
For just 1 point.
No wind, though. Absolutely still out there.
Good snap to Aschenbrenner. He puts the hole down. Wobbly kick is straight on through and good. A phenomenal kick by Grant Snowden is able to eventually finish off the score and make it 28-7. Hayden with the lead still over the Manhattan Indians following the penalty that time. Jake Laban, they were able to really move the ball well on that drive, were the Indians, to finally get on the board here on our Invista Credit Union game of the week.
A lot of misdirection there from Manhattan, and you can see how they put up that many points against the good Junction City defense yesterday or last week. But you had a mixed little run and pass. Great misdirection for the touchdown there at the end zone. Hayden was completely fooled. Don't be surprised if you see Manhattan go back to that, because everybody was flowing toward the far side of the field trying to stop Manhattan, but a terrific reverse inside by the Indians.
And Greg, if you are Hayden, on one hand, you gave up the touchdown, shutout is over, now Manhattan is within 3 scores. But on the plus side, that drive took 5 minutes and 19 seconds, lasted 11 plays. That is a lot of game clock now no longer in play for Manhattan, still down by 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, and if you're Hayden, I think that's the big thing now. Bill Arnold's got to think, hey, we get a 10, 12-play drive. We're going to take it through the third quarter and starting to get a good chunk into the fourth quarter, up still by 3 touchdowns.
Grant Snowden, who just launched in the 35-yard extra point, will kick this one away. Kicking toward the north end zone. That's left to right as you listen. Desmond Purnell, the deep man for Hayden. Snowden steps into it, shortens up the kick. It's going to be caught by Purnell off the ground at the 16, but his knee was down as he fielded it. So the quasi-pooch kick by Snowden pays off perfectly, as Purnell had to go down to field that one. That's the first special teams miscue, maybe the first miscue overall of the day for the Wildcats. And now Hayden will start with its worst field position of the game, all the way back at its own 17-yard line. That's where the knee for Purnell was down. So here comes the Wildcat offense, 3:43 to go in the third, leading by 21 points over Manhattan. Holloway under center with a double wing look. DeVader, the fullback, is the deep man. DeVader will take the first down handoff, runs behind his right tackle, is able to get a few yards up to the 21-yard line. So a gain of 4 to the right for Will DeVader on first down.
DeVader always gets the tough yards. 7 rushes, 24 yards on the night.
Just over 3 a carry for DeVader. Coming into this game through the first 2 weeks was averaging 9 yards per carry. There's been a bit more of a struggle in the middle today against this formidable defensive line for Manhattan. Now 2nd down and 6 for Hayden. Holloway fakes a toss. Now will roll to the right. Throws down the right sideline. He's looking at the outside for Specht, and it just bounces off the left hand of sliding Skylar Specht on the far sideline. It goes incomplete, and it's 3rd down and 6 for Hayden.
Yeah, pretty good coverage by Zach Hershey, on there, but Specht, boy, had the opportunity to get that. More important for him, Manhattan, the clock stops on the incomplete pass, so a little time saved, and 3rd down here for Hayden.
One of the most adverse situations of this game for the Wildcats. They still lead 28-7, 3:01 left in the period. This would be a big moment for Manhattan if it can force a stop here on the 3rd and medium. Specht still in the game. He's the isolated receiver to the left. 2 wings in. The deep man is still DeVader. Holloway under center. Holloway fakes the handoff, tosses into the flat. He completes to Trey Pavarnik. Pavarnik gets to the stick, takes another step, and gets a 1st down. Trey Pavarnik near the 30-yard line catches the ball rolling into the right flat, carries a defender with him, and is able to pick up the 1st down. A good effort defensively by Deshaun Edwards, but he gets carried along, and it's a 1st down for Hayden at the 30-yard line.
5th reception of the night for Pavarnik, 84 yards. He has had a solid game tonight. Now a whistle, and
waiting for the reason for the whistle. Bill Arnold is out on the field trying to get an explanation. Talking to the linesman.
Okay. Whatever it was, they got it figured out.
So after all of that, we're right back to a 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Ball near the far right hash. Holloway under center Stevenson. This time, Holloway rolling to his left. Holloway throws it near the sideline, near the numbers, and he throws it over the head of his intended target, Pavarnik. That ball falls incomplete. Pavarnik stands at 6'3", and that ball was about 7 feet high and incomplete. 2nd down and 10, 2:37 left in the 3rd.
Justiquillo with the coverage against Pavarnik, but thrown behind him as Holloway trying to throw across his body. Not a good pass over to Pavarnik.
Wildcats break their huddle. Javani Williams checking back into the offense for Hayden. He's out to the left side. Ball's between the hashes for the Wildcats. Holloway under center. Holloway will hand it off up the middle. This time it's DeVader who gets some good yardage up to the 37, but a flag comes in behind the play. So what looked like a 7-yard carry will instead be a loss after a holding penalty on the Wildcats offensive line.
Yeah, that's in essence, it's about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So in essence, going to be a 13-yard penalty against Hayden. By the way, it's only their 2nd penalty of the night for 24 yards.
So very few miscues for Hayden so far. 2:32 on the clock. Wildcats facing a 2nd down and long now. Call it about a 2nd and 23 after the penalty margin is walked off. Ball all the way back at the 17-yard line. The 40 is the yard to gain. But we are late going now in the 3rd, under 2.5 minutes on the clock. And the clock is the enemy of Manhattan and the friend of Hayden. Pistol set now for Holloway. Holloway drops back to pass, holds the ball high near his helmet, leans back, throws it into the flat. No one was even looking for the ball. Threw it well short of his intended target. And it was out on the far side for Hayden, one of the tight ends, but the ball falls well incomplete.
Okay,
and so now it looks like there is, Greg, a discussion about intentional grounding. That throw was so off target, they might actually throw a flag on it.
And did it get back to the original line of scrimmage, too?
And they are going to throw the flag.
Throw the flag.
The white hat pulls the laundry out of the pocket, tosses down the field, and grounding is the call. So a loss of down, a loss of yardage, and now, Greg, it is 3rd down and forever for Hayden. 2:25 on the clock, but Manhattan again getting a little bit of a break here, trailing by 3 scores.
So they move it back 5 yards.
Some displeasure from the Hayden faithful in the stands here tonight.
You know, I was thinking, though, It's nice to hear sound from the fans.
That
at a
is
football game.
100% true. And credit to Hayden High School for some strict procedures to get into the game. Had to do checks, had to make sure you had not had any contact with any positive testers recently, had wristbands to make sure you were okay to come in. So credit to Hayden, credit to all the schools in the city for taking every precaution possible to get some parents, friends, and family into the games this year.
And I tell you what, good crowd here from Manhattan as well to watch this game.
Came down I-70 from Riley County to watch this one. And after another 5 yards is marked off because of the penalty, it is 4th down with the ball marked all the way back at the 13-yard line.
I'm not sure what the stoppage. Something on the Manhattan side.
They had to run an extra man on.
Well, they allowed them all that time to.
And, Greg, they still don't have enough guys on the field, I don't believe. They do. They got the 11th man on.
Well, no, they didn't. Or, well, one guy.
There are guys walking on the field, off the field. The officials standing, waiting to signal play. The ball is still just laying lifelessly on the field inside the 15.
2 guys run off, 3 guys run on, 3 guys run off, 5 guys run on.
More difficult to follow than a Virginia Woolf novel, but nonetheless, Hayden is finally ready to punt this one away. Desmond Purnell, 8 yards behind center. Motion comes from Stephen Moore before the punt. Purnell gets the snap, puts his right boot into it. Not much spin on the ball, but a good kick by Purnell. Bounces at the 46-yard line of Manhattan and out of bounds. So that ball will be called down at the 43-yard line is where the linesman is standing. And that is where the ball will be marked down. So a 45-yard punt by Desmond Purnell to get the Hayden defense out of the shadow of its own goal line. 2:17 to go in the third quarter. We have finally figured things out, but we also have an injury down on the field. Jake Laban, our field reporter, were you able to see who is down hurt and what happened on the play?
I do not. It's a simple cramp, though, right now at the 15-yard line for Hayden. He went down and he's laying on his back. So I'd imagine if they're able to stretch him out, he should be able to come back.
Hey, Jake, for Joe Schartz's team right now, down 3 touchdowns. I don't want to say you have to abandon the run, but you probably got to think more of trying to get bigger chunks down the field.
Yeah, you just have to be very efficient. You can still do what you're doing because last time they did move the ball well. It just took 5 minutes to score. But this third quarter has really taken a long time if you think about it. If they're able to score right when the fourth quarter starts, you could easily score twice in the fourth quarter. So a big drive right now for Manhattan. They got to pitch a shutout the rest of the way, and they got to put up 7 each single time.
The injured Wildcat was sophomore lineman Ben Evans, who has had a really good game defensively so far. He was in a protection that time, but he's able to walk off the field under his own power. Now Manhattan takes over, moving from left to right as you listen. Ball on the far side, that's the left hash. The wide side is the near side. Israel Newby is the wide receiver lined up there. Aschenbrenner, the quarterback for Manhattan, in the gun. Mason Reed, his running back to the left. Aschenbrenner takes the snap. He's going to toss the bubble screen to the outside. Hits Joe Hall. Hall makes the catch. Gets past the 45. Gets up near midfield. A really nice bubble screen play on first down. A gain of 7 for Manhattan up to the 50.
Yeah, nice call early on. Solid pass, 59 yards passing. For Aschenbrenner, 3rd reception of the night.
Go on,
Joe Hall for 25 yards.
2nd down and 3.
Come on, kid!
For Manhattan. The 47-yard line of Hayden is the yard to gain. Aschenbrenner back in the gun. 1 wide receiver on either side of the formation. The wide side is still the near right. Aschenbrenner, it's a keeper. He runs to his right, now cuts back up the middle. Now tries to angle back to the right, and he gets swallowed up by the free safety, Purnell. Purnell comes in from center field and makes the stop. This ball is very close to the line to gain. The nose of the ball is nearly at the 47, and they are going to move the chains. So just enough, exactly 3 yards on the carry for Aschenbrenner, and a first down for Manhattan with 1:26 to go in the third.
And, he actually stepped back, and that's what I was wondering is where he was, where he got tackled, and it got just enough for the first down.
2 wings and a deep man, Reed. Newby in motion. Aschenbrenner takes the snap, hands off to Reed, who angles to the left, gets past the 45. and he is dropped at the 42-yard line. So 5 more yards. Manhattan moving the ball again. They're well into Hayden territory now with 1 minute to play until we reach the fourth quarter.
9 carries, 27 yards for Mason Reed. Most of that, all of that, as a matter of fact, in the second and third quarter.
Aschenbrenner in the gun. Newby comes in motion. Newby will take a sweep to the left. He gets to the outside, breaks through the defense, spins off of a defender before eventually being spun into the ground with another first down inside the Hayden 30-yard line up to the 27. Israel Newby has gotten really involved here in the second half, Greg, and it has really added a new element to this Manhattan offense.
Not the biggest guy in the world, 5'5", 135. The 5'5" might be generous, but man, is he lightning fast for Joe Schartz's team.
Gain on that last play for the first down by Newby.
Okay.
And we've got another stoppage on the field with the ball at the 27-yard line, 35 seconds on the clock.
Come on, defense!
Still waiting to figure out what is going on after the 15-yard carry. And now Manhattan is huddling again. Just not sure what is going on here. There's been mass confusion.
Yeah, the referee was the one who blew the whistle first, but then it was the sideline judge on the Manhattan side who blew it next. Manhattan huddled back up, and you'll never know.
And the clock is still stopped while all this is going on because Newby was forced out of bounds. They're now resetting the clock. Maybe that was the issue, Greg. They had to get the clock right. They bump it back up by about 5 seconds. 41 flat left in the third. 2 receivers right, Newby and Hall. Newby in the slot. Reed is the running back right. Right side to the wide side. Aschenbrenner. Speed option. Tosses it to Reed. He gets to the 25, dives inside to the 20, and we've got a flag near the tackle. These teams determined to do everything they can to make this third quarter last forever.
It might be an 8-yard gain down to the 19.
And it's a hold on Manhattan. So a couple holding penalties against Hayden so far in this game, but now the Indians get backed up because of their own miscue. So instead of getting the ball up at the 19-yard line with a gain of 8, it's moved all the way back to the 32-yard line.
Give Reed 5 yards on the play because the hold occurred down the field. Third penalty for Manhattan for 35 yards. So instead of 1st and 10, or even another first down, it's now 1st and 15.
So he gets 5 yards. They move them back 5 after the hold. Down to 15 seconds on the clock here in the third. Bowles now the only running back in the formation, flanking Aschenbrenner to the left. Newby switches from left to right as Aschenbrenner resets the play. We're down to 5 on the game clock. Down to 3. Down to 1. Aschenbrenner waits. He gets the snap off just in time. Rolls left. Stop. Throws it down the sideline and nearly has it picked off. He went down the field for Mason Reed and underthrew it. Desmond Purnell nearly cut it off for a pick, and that's the end of the third quarter. Get your 4 fingers out, put them in the air. We're headed to the last period. Hayden with a 28-7 lead over the Manhattan Indians. We'll be back after this on the Invisible Credit Union 580 Prep Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
And ingredients like 100% fruit and veggies, real yogurt, and no artificial anything in Go Anywhere pouches, so our kids can keep going wherever their adventures take them. Go Squeeze. You make the memories, we'll make the snacks. Find us in the applesauce aisle.
Uh-oh, they're back. Gray roots. And you still have 2 weeks until your next hair appointment. Okay, breathe. For the time in between colorings, I use L'Oreal Magic Root Rescue. Like the name says, it's magic. L'Oreal Magic Root Rescue quickly, easily, and permanently covers your roots. 10 minutes is all it takes for 100% gray coverage. Or your
10 seconds.
Guaranteed. With 17 salon matching shades that blend seamlessly with your hair color, look for L'Oreal Magic Root Rescue at your local retailer in the hair color aisle. Restrictions apply.
Welcome back to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you in the booth. Jake Laban, our field reporter tonight. The Manhattan Indians trailing the Hayden Wildcats at Hayden 28-7. The ball at the Hayden 32-yard line Manhattan on offense. The Indians have moved the ball well in the second half, but it's been a very slow go of it, which is a huge benefit for the home team, Hayden. Aschenbrenner, the quarterback for Manhattan, in the gun. His running back, Bowles, flanking him to the left. Snap to Aschenbrenner. He rolls slightly to the left. He's looking down the left sideline, going deep for Joe Hall, and Hall is wide open. Touchdown in the left corner of the end zone for Manhattan. And one play, just 4 seconds into the fourth quarter, Manhattan makes it a 2-score game. A beautiful throw into the end zone that time by Aschenbrenner to cut it down to 2 scores.
And Jake looks like, the clock's still running. Joe Sharch was out on the field.
Yeah, the clock is still running, actually. It's down to 11:30 right now, so there's got to be something with the clock not stopping right now. They'll get that changed, no question about that. But what a beautiful throw from Aschenbrenner. Sometimes the wide open throws can be the difficult ones, I can promise you that. And he put it right on the money.
A drive that took 2 minutes and 21 seconds off the clock, lasted for 6 plays, results in the second touchdown of the game for the Indians. Still got to fix the clock. Bill Arnold incensed on the sideline. You can say the same about Joe Sharts for Manhattan. Assistant coaches up in the press box not happy with how things are working. Been a frustrating second half for both teams, especially for Hayden, Greg, which has seen its 28-0 lead that it developed early on in the third quarter, now dwindled to just a 2-touchdown game with 11:56 or so to play.
So they set it back to 11:46. Well, we think.
And we've got more discussion
Once again, more discussions.
Trying to figure out what the situation is. When Hall caught the pass in the end zone, it was at 11:56 on the clock.
My thought is it didn't take 14 seconds to complete that play.
When you consider Hall's speed and the velocity on the throw, it would be much closer to 4 than 14. Now Bill Arnold is getting an explanation out by the numbers on the near sideline.
For as quick as the first half is, grinding halt is the best way to describe the second half right now.
With this momentary stoppage in play, let's get you some station identification. You're listening to the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
KTPK Topeka, Country 106.9.
Brendan Dworzinski, Greg Akaki, and Jake Laban with you at Hayden High School. They've made it official, 11:46 on the clock. That seems like a lot of time to tick off for one play on a 32-yard touchdown pass from Dane Aschenbrenner to Joe Hall, capping off the Manhattan drive. But nonetheless, the Indians are getting ready for an extra point. Now they're going to add 5 more seconds back on. So it's 11:51 showing going in the game, and I think that's where we are eventually going to settle. Grant Snowden gets ready for the extra point. Low snap, and we've got a flag and a false start on Manhattan. It's like a pact made to begin the second half.
Oh, no. They said it was Hayden.
Everybody in the crowd, everybody watching seemed to think it was movement on the offensive line first, but Hayden gets flagged. So move the point after try another yard closer to the goal line. Now, here's a decision for you, Greg. Do you continue to kick the extra point, or do you maybe think about 2?
Well, they didn't hesitate. They're still going to kick the extra point.
Aschenbrenner, the holder, puts his right knee down on the turf, gets ready to hold. Snowden backs up, ready to kick the extra point. Good snap this time. Snowden approaches another line drive, a bullet of a kick, and again, it just gets over the crossbar, and it's good. 11:51 to go in the game. Hayden's lead down to 14, 28-14 over Manhattan. We're back after this on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
I have a junior, Hope, and a freshman, Cordell, and it feels realistic about the costs.
Invista makes it easy. The Invista College Roadmap will guide you in comparing schools, discovering scholarships, finding ways to pay for college, and more. Even better, it's free. Learn more at InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com. Insured by NCUA.
Join us Saturday, October 24th for this year's virtual Making Strides Against Breast Cancer 5K walk. Every step you take honors breast cancer survivors and shows anyone touched by breast cancer that they won't have to face their diagnosis alone. Every step helps to raise awareness and money to
10
fund
seconds.
research, support services, and early detection. To get more information on how to track your steps for this year's virtual 5K walk, visit any Alpha Media website.
The Hayden Wildcats getting the ball back, leading Manhattan 28-14 on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi with you. Manhattan just capped off a 6-play touchdown drive that took 2:21 off the clock with a 32-yard touchdown pass from Dane Ashenbrenner to Joe Hall. Hayden, though, with almost a whole quarter to go, still leads by 2 scores. As Grant Snowden approaches for Manhattan and squibs it, Jaden Rayner touches the ball for Hayden. It rolls off of his mitts and will bounce over to the far left sideline where he dives on it and will set up the offense. So decent starting field position for Hayden to start this drive at the 34-yard line. 3 seconds off the clock on the kickoff. So 11:48 to go in this one.
By the way, updated score, about 11 minutes left to go in the game. Perry LeCompton off to a great start, leading Holton 28-14.
Perry LeCompton, the only team to beat Hayden last year, did it twice. Those are the only 2 games in which Hayden allowed double figures in points last season. Well, they've done it twice in back-to-back weeks, but they can still win this one. Holloway under center on first down, hands it to Jaden Rayner on a sweep from left to right. He cuts upfield up the middle and gains 5 yards on first down on the inside give.
You know, that was the same play. He scored his 73-yard touchdown, that time only going for 5. For Manhattan, though, you need to stop them defensively here. For Hayden, I would think ground game. You got one to eat up yards there, and Will DeVader if they get a 3rd and short.
If Bill Arnold has his way, you can't expect Johnny Holloway to throw the ball maybe at all the rest of this contest.
Exactly.
He's under center right now and waiting for the play clock to tick down. We're down near 11 minutes to go. About 1 minute off the clock here in the 4th. Double wing look. DeVader's the deep man. Speck the wide receiver to the right. Holloway, they give to DeVader. DeVader's got a hole right up the middle, past the 45, past midfield, spinning around backwards, all the way up near the 45-yard line. Will DeVader with a great run. Call it 15 yards and a first down for Hayden, right up the gut with the fullback.
He is so good to stay on his feet. Like I said, I've never seen him. I don't think I have seen him ever get tackled on the first try. Probably not even on the second try. The boy just kind of turned, spun, got into Manhattan territory, and a fresh set of downs as the clock runs.
He's got the much sought-after low center of gravity. He stands 5'11", 190, but he generates a lot of power with his lower body. Holloway back under center. Heavy wing tee to the right. Specht again, the only receiver in the formation. Holloway hands on hips until the play clock almost runs out. Hands it off to DeVader again, who goes straight up the gut. He's hit by Jackson Vikander right away, but not before a gain of about 4.5 yards on first down and 10. And you can expect, Greg, a heavy dose of Will DeVader the rest of the way for the Wildcats with their 2-touchdown lead.
If you watch the film, and if you're a coach, wanted to say, here's what you can do and how successful you'll be if you continue to drive your legs as a running back, that tape would consist of Will DeVader runs to be able to do. He's just so good at it with that low center of gravity.
Once again, the double wing look for Hayden. Specht switches from the right to the left. This time Holloway gives a sweep hand up to Purnell. Purnell's looking for a hold to the left. He reverses course to the right. Now he turns it up at the 40. He gets to the 35, stutter step, and is grabbed and thrown out of bounds beyond the 30-yard line up to the 28. A 13-yard run by Purnell. That could have been a loss of 2 or 3, Greg, but instead he reverses course, turns it upfield, and gets a first down carry with 9.5 to go.
The key block, Holloway, he got enough of a block on Kay Carson to open up that outside for him to get the first down. So when he saw Purnell change directions, he became the blocker. You know, that's dangerous, but he did his job, was able to seal off that linebacker and spring Purnell.
Always love to see a quarterback out front throwing a lead block. Now, 1st and 10, another give to Purnell. He angles a run to the left. He's got a hole up the middle, breaks a tackle, but he loses the ball near the goal line. And Manhattan jumps on it in the end zone. An unbelievable turn of events. Back-to-back weeks with a fumble for Desmond Purnell, and the turnovers are an issue for Hayden late in the game. 9:21 to go, and the Manhattan Indians take over.
26 yards on the run. He fumbled it right at about the 2-yard line, fumbled it forward, and Manhattan gets the football. Actually, they're going to say he recovered it at the 1, not in the end zone. But nonetheless, it is a turnover. Manhattan football, plenty of time remaining, 9:21.
Manhattan came into this game even with turnovers on the year, 7 takeaways, 7 giveaways, but they're +2 in this one. 9:21 to play, ball at the 1-yard line, Aschenbrenner in the gun. Aschenbrenner barks out the signals. He's going to keep it, angles a run to his left, is able to get a little bit of breathing room out to about the 3-yard line. So just 2 yards, a good job by Hayden, led by Jordan Rayner, to make the stop after the short gain. But that's 2 important yards for Manhattan to get, again, a little breathing room.
Yeah. Now they got to maybe get the huddle a little quicker here. We said plenty of time, but the clock running down to 8:50 left to go.
No receivers split out wide in this formation. Aschenbrenner still in the gun. He takes the snap. He is going to throw, lofts it outside, and he undershoots his target, Trey Holloway. Holloway was running a tight corner from the end of the right side of the line, and Aschenbrenner doesn't get enough mustard on the throw. It falls incomplete. It's 3rd down and 8 for Manhattan.
He's going to hate watching that one on film because of the fact that he's going to see, boy, if he just lofts it up enough, boy, they got plenty of room to run on that. That was a big one there that he's going to hate to watch on film tomorrow.
Excellent play design. Execution comes up somewhat lacking, and now 8:42 to play following the Desmond Purnell fumble at the 1-yard line. Manhattan has it at about the 3. It's 3rd down and 8. Now a receiver split to the left is Tate Brown. One to the right is Newby. Aschenbrenner takes a deep drop. Pressure comes. He's hit. The ball is out of the end zone. Hayden with the sack and the defensive touchdown. What a turn of events for the Wildcats. And Hayden extends its lead partway through the 4th quarter with the sack in the end zone.
Jake, I couldn't tell who recovered the fumble for the touchdown.
I couldn't tell actually who ended up doing it, but it was a meet at the quarterback. There's really no chance whatsoever for Aschenbrenner. A slow developing play. There was a penalty marker on the play. It was a hold, and so it would have been a safety regardless because it was in the end zone. But he ends up fumbling it, and so it is 7 points. That is what a strange and wild last about 3 plays in this game.
And give the credit to J.C. Cummings. He's walking down the Hayden sideline wearing the big turnover chain with the big H on it, celebrating that one for the Wildcats as Specht gets ready for the extra point. High snap. It's a fake. They throw it to the outside, and Purnell for 2. What a call that time by Bill Arnold and the Wildcats. They fake the extra point, throw it to the right flat, and get 2 points. 36-14. The Wildcats lead by 22. We'll be back after this break on the Invista Credit Union 580 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
I have a grandson in 8th grade, and we have already been discussing the possibilities of colleges. How much will it cost, and how do we save? We look at Invista College Roadmap to go over the details and start the conversation about college. It's easy to find all we need. The Scholarship Finder and checklists are great resources for my grandson to dream about where he would want to end up and realize his dreams. Realizar sus sueños.
Switch to Prepared with Invista College Roadmap. Visit InvistaCollegeRoadmap.com to find out more.
Insured by NCUA.
With so many new pet owners, Kezia's Grooming can't keep up.
Kezia's Grooming? Sorry, we'll book solid through the weekend. I can give you a call back, though, if something opens up.
It's time to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. The moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database.
10
Indeed
seconds.
delivers 2.5 times more hires than the other branded job sites combined, according to Breezy HR 2019. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back to Hayden High School. Brendan Dworzinski and Greg Akagi here with you on Country 106.9. Hayden with a 36-14 lead over Manhattan, and the Wildcats will kick it away, moving from left to right. Skylar Specht with a short pooch kick picked up by Ty Jackson for Manhattan, and he is drilled on the near sideline. How about the last couple of moments for J.C. Cummings for Hayden? He picks up a loose ball in the end zone for a touchdown on defense, then lays the wood on Ty Jackson in kick coverage.
Going back to Dane Aschenbrenner on that last play where he gets sacked in the end zone. Boy, he didn't see at all. Huge pressure coming from the left side of the defensive line by Hayden. They were just pinning their ears back, and he gets popped in the end zone, loses the ball. J.C. Cummings on the scramble, recovers it for the touchdown.
Now Manhattan comes out with 8:33 to play. Trips receivers to the right, one to the left. Wide side is the right. Aschenbrenner throws the bubble pass out to Israel Newby. Newby cuts back inside along the right side numbers. And we've got a tackle made on a celebration for Hayden. The Wildcats are feeling it. The ball popped out at the end, but the whistle was blown, and Newby was down at the 29-yard line. So a gain of 4 on the first down bubble screen.
95 yards passing for Aschenbrenner tonight.
Aschenbrenner in the gun again, only receivers to the left, it's Hall. Now, Aschenbrenner, he rolls to his left. He's going to dump it out to one of his backs, Jackson Bowles, who can't handle the pass in the flat, and he is knocked down as well. Jordan Rayner comes up and makes the hit. And, Greg, right now, this Hayden defense is feeling itself.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just pinning their ears back, playing aggressive. And now 3rd and 6.
With under 8 minutes to play in the game. Manhattan coming into this one off of a rivalry loss to Junction City, which right now, based on what they're doing against Seaman, looks like the best team in the Centennial League. Meanwhile, Hayden lost a tough one to Seaman last week. They are playing well here late in the ball game. They played well all night, truly. Aschenbrenner in the gun. 2 receivers right, 1 left. He rolls to his left, tries a little toss play out to Mason Reed, who gets it off the ground, takes it all the way across the 40, and gets a first down for Manhattan on the left sideline. Aschenbrenner with a late toss. It's low, but Reed's able to haul it in and move up the field all the way up to the 43-yard line. Call it 14 yards and a first down for Manhattan, still trailing by 22.
And actually, I'm going to call that a run because it basically was, a pass, because it was basically forward to Bowles for 14 yards.
We'll call that a game over 100 yards passing then for Aschenbrenner if you give him 14 with a forward toss that time. 2 wide receivers isolated far side right, 1 to the left. The back is Reed, flanking Aschenbrenner right. Aschenbrenner, the snap in the gun. He looks back over the middle on the slant to Tate Brown. Brown is hit. The ball is up in the air, and it is incomplete. And once again, that is the 3rd time tonight, Greg, that Giovanni Williams almost comes away with a pick in his Hayden debut.
And Desmond Purnell was the one on the hit, a big hit against Tate Brown. Actually, in that first half, the lone reception by Tate Brown, he got popped pretty good as well.
Brown has taken a beating over the middle so far in this one. Really, that's been the case for Manhattan throughout the night, trailing by 22. Now Hall alone on the left side of the field. 2 wings in. Reed still the back to the left of Aschenbrenner. Newby comes in motion. He takes a sweep going to the left, looking for some blockers. He's not going to get any help. It's Jordan Rayner who's in on the stop. He gets some help as well from Will DeVader. And, Greg, there is just so much athleticism on this Hayden defense. And like you said, when they're pinning their ears back, when they're playing without any inhibitions, they can really hit players with a lot of force. They can get in the backfield and make a lot of stops.
Yeah, Bowles was the lead blocker on that play. Only problem was there were 3 Hayden defenders out there at the same time. So he couldn't handle all 3, and they get the big tackle for the loss.
Ball back to the 41-yard line, a loss of 2. Brown and Bowles, the receivers to the right. Brown, the one furthest extended out. Aschenbrenner in the gun with Reed, flanking him to the right. Ball on the near hash. Manhattan moving from right to left as you listen. Aschenbrenner designed rollout. He's going to keep it, tucks it up the middle, and he is dropped down nowhere near the first down marker at the 44-yard line. Call it a gain of 3 on 3rd and long, and now 4th down and 9 coming up for Manhattan.
Yeah, here it's 4-down territory as they'll bring in a couple of receivers. Hall coming back in, Brown coming back in.
Less than 6.5 minutes to play. A couple lapses, but overall a masterclass by the Hayden defense tonight. As Manhattan spreads it out on 4th and 9. Reed to the left of Ashenbrenner. A wing and 2 receivers right. Newby to the left. Ashenbrenner looks. Pressure comes up the middle. He loses the ball. It's loose. Hayden's on top of it. It's Jaden Rayner. Comes in after the sack by Pavarnik. Another fumble lost by Ashenbrenner. And with 5:59 to play, Hayden takes over, already up 22.
Once again, pinning your ears back, Jake LeBon, and right in the face of Ashenbrenner, who gets the ball stripped away once again.
Yeah, that time it was Pavarnik who was the outside linebacker on a blitz, and I don't know if it was the tight end or the back who didn't pick him up, but Ashenbrenner had no chance there. He long fake and rolled out, and by that time, Pavarnik was right in his face and ended up getting the sack and the forced fumble. That is just simply, they know they're going to throw the football. You don't have to do anything else but just rush the passer.
Now Hayden takes over again on offense. Holloway under center, DeVader the deep man. Purnell and Jaden Rayner the wings. Specton at wide receiver, and on the snap, we have a whistle for a false start. 36-14, Hayden with the lead right now. Over their last 5 seasons, Hayden has played 8 games, Greg, against 6A teams. 2-6. Their 2 wins, they beat Washburn Rural last year. They beat Manhattan 5 years ago. Averaged 29.3 points allowed per game in those games against 6A schools. You come away from this one only allowing 14 to this point against Manhattan. That's a huge game for your defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And a team considered one of the favorites to win the Centennial League again.
First down handoff up the middle, Will DeVader. He is stuffed at the 26-yard line. Gain of 2 on 2nd down and 13. Gain of 2. Now it is 2nd down and 13. And we've got a correction. Our PA announcer correcting for us. Stephen Moore on the carry. So some subs now getting some run for Hayden. So call it 2 on Stephen Moore's first carry of the game. His 3rd carry of the season. He's now up to 37 yards through 3 weeks. Didn't have a single touch last week in the loss to Seaman. Holloway on 2nd down. Misdirection handoff gives to Jaden Rayner, who cuts it back up the middle. Bounces to the right side, to the 15, to the 10, to the corner. Touchdown, Wildcats! Jaden Rayner once again from 26 yards out is able to take it to pay dirt, and the Wildcats break 40. Call it now 42 points on the night for Hayden in what has been a beatdown of the Manhattan Indians.
5:04 left to go. Jaden Rayner. 142 yards for Desmond Purnell. 118 yards for Jaden Rayner tonight. 261 yards of rushing between those two tonight.
5:04 to play. Specht lining up for the extra point. Last time, Hayden faked the extra point. And now a low snap. They're going to have to throw it again. Gavin Arnold rolling out to the right. The holder throws to the end zone, and the ball is picked out of the air. And that's an interception and incomplete. So 42 stays the number. 5:04 to play. The Hayden Wildcats with a 28-point lead over the Manhattan Indians. We'll take one more break. Be back in a minute here on the Invista Credit Union 5 Preps Game of the Week on Country 106.9.
Okay, ladies, we all know one of the greatest feelings in the world when a friend says, "Girl, those pants look amazing on you." And I say, thanks, they're Skechers Go Walk Wear pants. And why do I always get compliments on these casual, athletic, stretchy pants? They're made with comfortable Go Flex fabric that has compression and hold. They have 4 pockets, plus they're machine washable and come in extended sizes. That's the Skechers Go Walk Wear line of pants. Find yours at Skechers.com or a Skechers store near you.
O'Reilly Auto Parts has what you need to keep your engine performing at its best. Our professional parts people will help you select just the right products for your car and budget, like 5 parts of Castrol GTX conventional or high mileage motor oil and a MicroGuard filter, just $28.99.
10 seconds.
Plus our double O rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Welcome back to Hayden High School. 5:04 to play on our Invista Credit Union 5 Preps Game of the Week. Hayden with a 42-14 lead over the Manhattan Indians. 2 turnovers in this fourth quarter have led directly to 14 points for the Wildcats. Taking over with a fumble recovery in the end zone on a sack, and then after a 4th down sack of Manhattan's Dane Aschenbrenner, it's Jordan Rayner from 26 yards out, Jaden Rayner, who runs it in for 6 more. Short kickoff caught by Joe Hall at the 23-yard line. He turns it upfield for Manhattan, breaks a tackle, gets up to midfield. He's to the 45-40, running along the sideline, but he stepped out right in front of the Hayden bench. That's a really nice return that time by Ty Jackson, getting into plus territory at the 42-yard line. Call it the 42, right about between the 42 and 43.
Yeah, Jackson was the one that got popped the previous time on the kickoff, so that time he took it and was aggressive with it. And good to see here.
And it's been this kind of night for Manhattan, Greg. That great return by Jackson's coming back.
No.
A hold, so instead of the ball at the plus 42, the Indians are going to start this drive all the way back at their own 25. So call that 32 yards lost on that penalty. That's what coaches often refer to as hidden yardage. And there's a big difference in terms of scoring opportunity and scoring ability comparing the plus 43 to the minus 25.
Yeah, when instead of having going less than 50 yards, now you have to go 75 yards. Think about that for a second to get the score.
4:57 to go in the ball game, and we've got another whistle.
This time an actual timeout, though.
Hayden takes the timeout. We'll keep it here with you. The Hayden Wildcats, Craig, have been tremendous throughout this game. A couple of lapses in coverage, a penalty here and there, but overall, you look at this game as a whole, and it has been a tremendous night for Bill Arnold Wildcats.
It absolutely has been. And a great recovery from the loss that they had last week. And you look at all 3 phases of the game. Offense, you have no complaints. Defense, you have played very well. Special teams, look what they've been able to do there as well. And yet, what they have seen and beat an outstanding team in Manhattan by 4 scores, too. Just a couple of quick scoring updates. Valley Heights beat Horton 60-8. Paola beat Tonganoxie 35-28. Sabetha 29. Nemaha Central 22. Rossville, after their basketball score last week, beat St. Mary's this week 67-12.
4:57 to play. Manhattan with the ball at its own 25-yard line, trailing by 28. Dane Aschenbrenner still in at quarterback. He is going to keep it after a fake handoff to Mason Reed. Turns it upfield, gets past the 30, and dives ahead near the 35-yard line. Call it a gain of exactly 10. That'll move the chains for Manhattan. But the clock, not the friend of the Indians tonight, and absolutely the ally of the Hayden Wildcats on defense.
Yeah, it's been a tough night. Losses on the last, or fumbles, losses. 17 carries, 56 yards for Aschenbrenner.
Aschenbrenner takes the snap speed option to the right. He is going to keep it, turns upfield, breaks 1 tackle, gets up to midfield, crosses the midfield stripe, heads back to the left. He's to the 35-30. He's got 1 man to beat, and he is not able to beat him. It's Gavin Arnold who grabs a hold of Aschenbrenner by the sides of his jerseys, but the quarterback is still able to run all the way down to the Hayden 10-yard line.
55 yards. Almost what he had gained on the night on 1 play.
Aschenbrenner, who is an excellent quarterback for this Manhattan team, has had a tough night with the fumbles. But he is not giving up, even though the score is lopsided at this point. 4:25 to play, 28-point lead for Hayden. First down and goal for Manhattan at the 10. Reed, the running back to the left of Aschenbrenner. Wide receiver isolated far right. Mason Reed will keep it. He bounces out to the right and he slips. Again, just that kind of night for the Indians. He slips down right at the line of scrimmage. He actually got around the defensive lineman. It was Jimmy Longstaff who kind of had him in contain, but lost his footing, which allowed Reed to bounce outside. But Reed then lost his own footing as well. Under 4 now to play. Aschenbrenner has 2 receivers to the wide side left, moving toward the south end zone. Speed option left. He's going to toss it late to Mason Reed, who's got a wide open hole along the left numbers into the end zone. Touchdown, Manhattan. Indians break the 20-point mark for the game. It's a 22-point lead now for Hayden. as the Indians decide what to do with their point after try, and it looks like it will be a kicking situation. Call that a 10-yard touchdown run by Mason Reed, his first rushing score of the season.
Let's see if Snowden can kick the ball good, at least more than 6 inches above the field goal post.
Low snap. This time he's able to pop the ball up into the air, and he's able to knock it right through the goalposts. So Snowden still on the year, perfect on extra points, now 9 for 9. But it doesn't do a whole lot here in this one, with Manhattan still trailing by 3 touchdowns, 42-21 against the Hayden Wildcats. That drive to score the touchdown for Manhattan took just 1 minute and 8 seconds off the clock.
Some other scores to give you. Atchison County beat McLeod 34-20. Let's see. Late in the game, Bentonville, Arkansas 35. Number 1 Mill Valley in Class 5A 28. Lawrence High beating Olathe West 42-14. And Olathe North late in the game beating Free State 35-9. Late in the game, Lansing 41, Shawnee Heights 7.
Some other notable scores: Silver Lake beats Riley County by 1, 29-28 in the Eagles' first game of the season. Perry LeCompton beats Holton 28-14. Washburn Rural earns its first win of the season, 21-14, taking down Pittsburgh. That's a big win for Coach Steve Bueller's squad. Also, we should add Seaman. The Vikings have come back and taken the lead over Junction City. A touchdown and 2-point conversion with under 4 to play has made it 27-26 Seaman.
This team, that Seaman team we saw the first 2 weeks.
Glenn O'Neill's got a special group this year.
I think this team they got something rolling there at Seaman High School.
Here in our game, 3:49 to play. Manhattan trailing Hayden by 21 is going for the onside kick. Ball lined up at the far hash. Snowden approaches. Bouncer is low. It doesn't get nearly the hop that Manhattan needed. And there to catch it off the turf is Jordan Rayner for Hayden. So the Wildcats get the ball at the 49-yard line. The Wildcats' own 49-yard line. Without much time to go here in Manhattan, any hopes of a miracle pretty much hinged on that play.
An update on that Junction City game. They have just scored, and they take the lead 34-27 with 1:38 left to go.
That is an unbelievable game out there in Junction City tonight. Backup quarterback is now in for the Wildcats. Gavin Arnold comes in and takes the first down snap, hands it off on a sweep to the outside to Jack Chisholm, moving from right to left, and he is dropped for a big loss in the backfield. Manhattan with the tackle for loss that time. How about a loss of 5 yards on the first down carry? But more important than the yardage at this point for Hayden is milking the clock. Manhattan not burning a timeout with under 3.5 to play. Gavin Arnold has played in a couple games so far this year on offense. He's plenty of time defensively as well. And, of course, holds for the Hayden special teams. He waits, gets under center. Chisholm is the wing to the right. Stephen Moore, the deep back at fullback. Arnold doesn't have anyone there. That is a botched play from the beginning, and Arnold is driven down in the backfield. Talik Houston from his middle linebacker spot breaks through the offensive line and is able to take out Arnold back at the 41.
Manhattan did call a timeout.
So Manhattan uses a timeout. 2:55 to play. Back-to-back tackles for loss. That is a loss of 4 yards on 2nd down and 15. So call it now 3rd and 19 for Hayden. Along with the backups in right now, a tremendous game for the Wildcat starters. If this score, or at least this current positioning of leading and losing, holds, Hayden will improve to 2-1 on the year, while Manhattan will fall to 1-2. This is a Manhattan defense returning 5 starters from last year, 3 of whom are the starting defensive linemen, Elalio, O'Connell, and Edwards. But it hasn't been the defensive line that's been the issue for Manhattan, because for Hayden throughout this game, Greg, once they have gotten any amount of space beyond the line of scrimmage, they have just shredded the second level of the Manhattan defense.
Yeah, after the entire night. I mean, without a doubt, and you see Hayden, 200-yard rushers on the night. You get one, it's good. You get two, you're doing something right.
Helped out, of course, by those 2 touchdowns of over 70 yards. 2:55 to go. 3rd down and 19 for Hayden. Gavin Arnold under center. He gets motion, and we've got a whistle on the snap. Sounds like that's going to be another procedural penalty against Hayden. That happens sometimes when you've got the backups in. J.C. Cummings, Stephen Moore, Jack Chisholm are the backs, replacing Rayner, DeVader, and Purnell, all of whom have had solid games in their own right. 2 seconds come off the clock as the ball is moved back to the 35-yard line. So after another 5-yard penalty, it is now 3rd down and 24 for the Wildcats. Manhattan getting a little bit of help here as Arnold goes back under center. 1 wide receiver on either side of the formation. Arnold will hand it off, and this is going nowhere. Another loss. Once again, it is Talik Houston who makes the stop. J.C. Cummings, who's had a great game defensively and on special teams, loses yardage that time. He was driven into the turf back at the 31-yard line. So that's another long loss on the carry, and Manhattan calls another timeout with 2.5 minutes to play. Still a 3-touchdown lead for Hayden at 42-21.
We're trying to get an update on that Junction City Seaman game that it just turned into an absolute barn burner of a game where Seaman was down big at one time in that game. Monster comeback. And now Junction City retook the lead late in the game with about 1.5 minutes left to go.
A lot of action in the city tonight. As we just mentioned, Washburn Rural got its first win. Hayden in position to get its second win of the year tonight. We'll talk about all of these games with all of the city coaches coming up on Monday night on 580 WIBW with the Wings Etc. High School Coaches Club, brought to you by Wings Etc.'s new location in Topeka in Fairlawn Plaza. That is coming up Monday night at 6 o'clock on our sister station, 580 WIBW. Punt formation for the Wildcats. They get ready to kick this one away on a 4th down and 30 after 3 straight runs for losses. Desmond Purnell into punt. It is a short punt, a shank off the foot. It bounces out of bounds, way out of bounds. Let's see where this one's marked off, Greg. Manhattan's about to get great field position with 2:25 to go.
Yeah, and there was contact made against Purnell. He didn't go down, but contact was made off of his left side, and Bill Arnold not happy about that. I think they missed one there.
And he gave the dismissive hand wave. Desmond Purnell trying to plead his case.
Oh, there was contact.
It's not going to benefit the Wildcats, though, unfortunately, for their sake. And it's a short punt for Purnell. New quarterback into the game for Manhattan with a 1st down and 10 at the 46. And it's a sweep handoff outside and nothing doing. Keenan Sharks into the game. Hands it off to the outside to Braxton Fry, the sophomore's first carry of the game. 5'9" running back is dropped for a loss of 1.5 yards. Down to 2 minutes left to play in this one. Backup quarterbacks in for both teams. Shotgun set now for Keenan Sharks. Gets motion again. Takes the handoff one way. Will give it back the other way. Good run this time for Manhattan. The ball carrier is Jason Sanchez, another sophomore tailback. He passes the 45-yard line up to the 41. Gained that time of about 7 yards. So after a loss of a couple, they gain 7 the next time. And it will set up a 3rd down and manageable 5 or 6 yards for Manhattan. 80 seconds left to play. Sharks takes the snap, speed option right. He's going to turn upfield and keep it. He breaks through the defense, gets past the 35-yard line, down to about the 34. So Keenan Sharks with a nice run, and now a late flag way behind the play after the run by Sharks. Let's see what this call is for. It is a personal foul called against Hayden. So tack 15 more yards on. So a gain of about 8 will turn into a gain of about 23 after the run by Sharks.
I think this game, players on both sides, is getting irritable enough, starting to get a little chippy here at the end.
The clock continues to run in this 21-point lead for Hayden, 42-21. We're down to a minute left to play in the ballgame. Hayden a minute away from going 2-1 on the season. Sharks tries throwing it on 1st down and 10, and he throws it right into the defensive line. Justin Wheel comes through. I think that ball hit him in the right forearm. Sharks had nowhere to go with that one. It falls incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, he absolutely had nothing on that. Wheel almost didn't have to jump.
59 seconds left to play. 2 backs, double barrel look after some motion for Manhattan. Sharks the keeper. He starts at the middle, bounces out to the right side, tries getting to the right sideline, and we've got flags from 4 different officials on the play on the far sideline. 6 seconds off the clock on the play as Sharks carries the ball inside the 15.
Face mask, personal foul face mask.
So the ball, instead of being at about the 14, maybe the 13-yard line, they'll now move it half the distance to the goal. So a gain of about 6 or 7 yards unofficially on the carry is moved all the way to the 6-yard line. Sixth play of the game coming up. Sharks under center. Hands it off up the middle. Sanchez trying to burrow through the defensive line inside the 5, reaching for the goal line. There's a massive humanity on top of the plane. No signal, and finally a signal that he's down. Down at the 1. A gain of 5 yards on the inside give. We're down to 35 seconds left to play in Manhattan. Trying to rearrange some deck chairs here and get into the end zone. Sharks waits, hands it off. Sanchez again going for the goal line, and he is stonewalled at the plane of the goal line. Down under 20 seconds. Sanchez gets blasted there, and now a timeout called by Manhattan with 15.1 to play. Manhattan wants to make the most of this opportunity for its backup players. But the final score is elementary at this point, 42-21. Hayden with the lead. In a half of football that has taken about an hour and a half at this point. Manhattan, though, understandably trying to make the best of it for its backups and its young quarterback Sharks. 5'10 sophomore. Stay tuned for the postgame show coming up in mere moments. We'll have a scoring recap from this one, get you some highlights, including our play of the game. We'll get you a stat recap, and we'll look at some scores from around Northeast Kansas tonight. No timeouts left for Manhattan. The ball is at the 1-yard line. Backup quarterback Keenan Sharks under center. 15 seconds to go. Sharks, this time it's a quarterback keeper. He goes to the right of his center, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Manhattan. 4 more seconds off the clock. 42-27. A feel-good moment for the second string for the Indians. Keenan Sharks with a 1-yard touchdown run on the 8th play of the drive for Manhattan. Grant Snowden on to kick the extra point. 3 for 3 on those on the day. The hold is down. The kick is up, end over end. A deep kick through the uprights and good. So after the extra point, it is 42-28. Hayden with the lead. But frankly, Greg, that final score, what will likely be the final score with just 11.5 seconds left, does not truly indicate the kind of dominance Hayden has had in this one.
No, most of that is in garbage time to be able to do. Really, it's not going to show at all. It's not going to make Bill Arnold happy. No, probably not. But overall, he's going to look at this tape. And for the majority of the game, he is going to absolutely love what he saw in this game. Don't know if this is a final or not, but
we're hearing it as final.
It is final that Junction City beat Seaman 34-27. They got an interception, Junction City, late as Seaman was driving. So Junction City survives this game, winning looks like 34-28.
So Seaman falls to 2-1 on the season. Fought back hard. They were down big, 26-7 at one point in that contest. Came back to lose by just one possession. 2-possession game here, although the feel of the game much more like a 3 or 4 score lead for Hayden. The Wildcats trying to get everybody on the field for the kick return as Grant Snowden lines the ball up on the far right hash to kick it away for Manhattan. Getting ready to send this away. Fans and players alike a little bit restless after the second half has seemed to drag on a little bit due to some penalties and some officiating miscues. Snowden approaches, kicks a squibber. It bounces off of Justin Wheel, the up man for Hayden. And a good job running back after the ball and covering it. Hayden burns 3 seconds off the clock.
Seen is not the right word. It did grind to a halt in the second half.
So the Wildcats get the ball. Credit on that play we should give to Finn Dunshee in on special teams to make the play. And he'll get a reward from his head coach, Bill Arnold. He gets to be on the field for the final snap of the game, which will be a kneel down for the backup quarterback, Gavin Arnold. 8 seconds left in this one.
So we need one more lineman.
Need to have 11 players on the field, as the rule book states. Now that both teams have that, Hayden can run the final play. Gavin Arnold takes the snap, puts his right knee on the ground, and the Hayden Wildcats are 2-1 on the season, coming away with a big win over the 6A Manhattan Indians, 42-28. And Greg, whether it was offense or defense, this was an overall phenomenal game tonight by Hayden.
Yeah, overall a great game for what they're able to do, and I think that's important for what Bill Arnold wants out of that is to be able to go and to get a dominant